like this is something like one of the conspiracy rabbit holes. Like I keep trying to go down, but I can't find anything good for it. So like Antarctica, what the fuck is going on down there? And why, if you, so like there are military bases down there, like lots of countries have military bases down there. And if you show up in Antarctica, they will kill you. They will shoot you in the head. They'll like, as you're like, if you just take a boat to Antarctica, get off and start walking around, they will kill you. Like, I did not know about this. Yeah. I didn't know about this at all. And I was what the fuck? What's going on?
Is that, first of all, did you get that from a good source? I didn't know that. Is that true?
Yeah, it came to me in a dream.
He's got my vote.
Now I know.
That'd be the worst source I can imagine.
This is like not like I saw some like the conspiratorial part is like, oh, there's something under the ice out there, and there's like an underground civilization or the remains of Atlantis, that kind of thing or whatever. Maybe not Atlantis. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe. But like the part that's not really debated is like, yeah, you cannot go to Antarctica. Like you can't go there. They'll shoot you.
Yeah. So I've heard of people. I don't know if it's immediately they just execute you. From what I've heard, they're like, leave. Get off, because you can't privately make your way to Antarctica, because there's some weird treaty with Antarctica. It's called I forget the word for it. Essentially, no nation can place ownership over it, or like
it's all scientific research.
Place a fact. Yeah, it's all scientific research,
which
but
is the reason law. But that implies there's no law there technically. So I think they're going to have a hard time arresting me under any real powers. Maybe maritime law. Is maritime?
I don't think it's illegal. I think it's a very gray area. They're just like, get out, essentially.
They consider me a pirate if I like grabbed my my retarded Malamute and started sledding deep into the Antarctic center.
You wouldn't be sledding deep.
Look, he's a big boy, goddammit.
He is strong. He has the power of 3 normal dogs.
He has 3 dog power.
No loud noises, though.
So the conspiracy around Antarctica begins with World War II. There was a German research base in Antarctica called Camp something, rather, I forget, but some number designation. Anyway, after the war was over in 1947, they sent a admiral by the name of Admiral Byrne to Antarctica in something called Operation High Jump, where he was sent with, I think, 20 men total to just like reconnoiter, investigate whatever the Germans were doing down there, to check out their facilities. And whenever they got back, they were all given a gag order and the Medal of Honor. And that's it. So
they were all given a gag order in the medal. All of them were given the Medal of Honor?
They were placed on like a 48-hour debrief, if I recall correctly. They were ordered to never speak about what they found, which that part's, probably pretty standard to most, military reconnoiter operations.
I think they stopped Hitler from being able to acquire alien technology down there, and they brought it home.
Now we're on the right path.
I don't think Hitler.
I think Hitler was down there. My favorite conspiracy theory, the one that I crave to be real, is the ancient civilizations one. The one, and when they lay out the timeline of the Earth's life, you're like, oh shit, this one does kind of make a bit of sense, right?
Like Atlantis, because they're like, yeah.
We've only been here for such a short period of time, like our civilization, like the last 6,000 years that we've actually recorded and can remember more or less. And the planet's been habitable, and we've been humans like we are for a very long time. Like we could have easily peaked and like been like pyramid building and then lost that and then 50,000 years went by. We resorted back to like hunter gathering people who don't even understand agriculture. And then we could have done it 3 or 4 times in the amount of time there's just no evidence for it. Right. And so that's when you got to look to places like maybe Antarctica, maybe like wasn't that a tropical place a long time ago? Probably predating humans, but I know at some point it was like maybe close to where Australia is.
Over like enough millions of years, all that shit's cyclical, right? With like because
you had Pangea or something, right, where everything was one giant megacontinent and then it broke up. But for a long time, I think Antarctica was more of a tropical thing, like in the Australia area ish.
If there was something that like changed in elevation, we would have found that under the seas by now, or no? Because I guess that we really haven't been.
I don't think we've charted the seas very well.
What do you mean by change in elevation? Like if there was
Like if it was like, oh, there was this that's the only one I know, so I keep saying Atlantis. Oh, it used to be here, and then the water levels changed a million years ago, and now it's deep under the sea or something.
That's actually fairly common. Not just in like ancient civilizations, like the Greek city of I know all this stuff until I'm asked about it. There was a Greek city near the coast that was like this sprawling landscape that was flooded in, I forget when. That's supposedly the inspiration for stories of Atlantis. There's also one off the coast of what's the country that gets hit by tsunamis all the time? It's not Japan, Southeast Asia.
Indonesia?
I think Indonesia. There was a city that was built in like the 1300s that had gone completely underwater. And what was wild is a couple years ago when they got hit with their last tsunami, this place has been underwater for hundreds of years. When the water drew back before the wave, for the first time, the entire city, like this underwater city with these statues and buildings, the footage of it's wild.
That's really cool.
The people who took the footage were having a terrible time.
I really like the idea of ancient forgotten technologies that might differ from ours greatly enough that they would be cool and interesting and maybe something could be discoverable. I think that Baghdad battery shit is bullshit. I don't give a goddamn. It was probably a sex toy. They were putting that thing on somebody's clit to like.
I don't know what that is. They found these like primitive like makeshift batteries. It's like a clay pot with I think you got like an acidic solution and maybe a copper tube or something like that, and maybe there's another metal that's involved. But in any case, it could form an ancient battery. You could make an electrical charge. And but they're not powering laptops back then with that thing. They're fucking like sticking their dicks in it because it feels weird. They're shocking each other for fun.
Yeah, I that's probably like I could imagine a religious ritual where they use science to like reinforce religion the way that remember in what's that awesome Mel Gibson movie the Apocalypto, when they know the eclipse is coming and the priest kind of looks over at the head honcho like, yeah, it's coming. And by priest, he's like he's an astronomer like from 1,000 years ago, and he's just like, here it comes. And so the king is like, bah, 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 the sun disappears, and they're like, holy shit, the boss made this. And then he's like, and come back. Like as soon as the priest gives him the go ahead nod for that, and it's like, you can imagine how you're gonna get in line for a man who does something like that, like a guy who can make the sun like disappear and come back. If that's magic. Someone knowing that the sun is going, they wouldn't even think of it that way. They'd never take that extra leap, like, because how could you know it was coming, right? Unless you understood astronomy.
Yeah.
No, I like that a lot. I like the idea of lost civilizations and that stuff just being eaten by the
ravages of time.
Well, yeah, the way the Earth's crust goes under itself and just gets eaten over and over until there's no, it's just gone. It's gone.
It is wild to think about like buried cities. Like we build civilization on top of civilization, and think of like everything that's sunk underneath. Concepts of sunken cities from like old lore, not like in the ocean, like the land gave way and there's these underground caverns.
Well, there's that thing in have you seen the thing, the Graham Hancock stuff about the Göbekli Tepe place in Turkey?
I've heard of it, and it's supposed to be like a super old civilization, or some people theorize that.
Yeah, that Graham Hancock guy, he's been on Rogan a bunch of times. I read his books; they're good. But he thinks that a comet came and melted flash melted a huge ice cap and flooded out this ancient civilization that existed like 10 or 20,000 years ago in Turkey. And they found this huge structure that was built there, and people should have been like hunter gatherers with stone tools back then, and instead you would have had to have like a civilization, because somebody's got to be hunting and gathering to get extra food so that you can have artisans who could even make something, like that. And supposedly
you kind of need agriculture.
So that's an interesting one. I don't know. I like that stuff a lot. I like lost mysteries. And the other one I really like is the idea of life being on one of the moons of Saturn or Jupiter, maybe like under the ice.
What's the one everyone says is super habitable?
Titan, maybe.
I think Titan.
Europa.
That sounds right.
There's a movie about Europa. Yeah.
What is it called? Is that?
I think it's Titan.
Titan.
I think Titan's the one everyone says that like it's almost habitable.
I don't want to live on any of them.
And no. It's a couple kilometers of ice at least, and then but then you've got a warm.
Yeah, that's
ocean.
habitable.
But you've got a warm ocean down
briefly.
Yeah.
And I think
anything's habitable for small amounts of time.
Very briefly.
I think that like the most ambitious scientists think that there's probably be like some amoebas or some like bacteria down there that feeds off of thermal activity. But I really want
ocean
there to
monsters.
be.
I don't give a shit about that.
Like
I need
mermaids.
I need something with hands for me to really care. Like something that made tools.
If I get there and the fish has hands, I'm going back.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Well, that would just confirm it's like, oh, so somebody had a nuclear apocalypse here a long time ago. And now all the fish are peeling their kelp at the bottom of the sea or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I couldn't think of anything they would do with hands. Seems like a bad idea. But
I've been looking at a bunch of like weird sci-fi. I wanted a new sci-fi book, so I've been watching YouTube videos about various like sci-fi authors. And it might be an Isaac Asimov. I don't know who wrote this one, but the premise is that aliens come to Earth and they just sort of like hover over us, and we do try to attack them, but it like bounces off, and they're like, "Chill, listen, we're here to help. Our bosses sent us here to get you guys up to speed. You're going to join the Galactic Federation. You can't look at us though. We're rough looking. Okay, we're going to hang out here for a while. When you get used to us, our ships and then communicating with us, then we'll reveal ourselves." And that goes on for like many years, like 10, 20, I don't know how many, like call it 10, 15 years. And sure enough, they've really enriched humanity. Like the technology's better, culture's better, everything's better. And they're like, all right, it's time. Chill though, right? And they like step out of their craft and they literally look like the devil. They literally look like the devil, like horns and pointy tails and like pointy teeth and claws. But there's no twist at the end. They're just nice. They really are these like ambivalent, nice people. They're like, don't be scared. We know that a lot of people get scared of us and all. I'm Mark.
This is my husband Alan, and it's like, oh, they're positive. Like,
I've been looking for a new one to read. It's that or Helldivers. I kind of want to go back to the Helldivers series.
What's
and finish
Helldivers?
That. That's the one where
the average life is 10 jumps, and this guy's on jump 95, and he's hard ass. I remember.
Yeah,
that.
the Earth's all poisoned, and we live in the sky on a hover ship. Those books are fun.
I want to read a book about Antarctica. I don't care if it is 100% whole cloth made up. Like I just like it's a fun story. Yeah, just start off with something kind of fun where it's like the Nazis left, and then just make it up.
Yep.
Just
have a good time. That's all that matters.
That's what matters in all these theories, that you're having a fun time.
Exactly. The funnest part about it is there was a second Operation High Jump, if I remember, like in the 60s or the 70s, when a group supposedly went to Antarctica. One of the funnest theories is that they took cameras there and had like this broken footage of like plant life they discovered and like a civilization of people under the ice. Love it. Fantastic. I believe it. Don't need any further information.
I want to believe
all living under the ice.
100%.
Because our existence is a little boring at times, right? Like, like the stuff that happens in movies is so dynamic and big and earth changing, and nothing really big has ever happened in our lifetime. It's not really like even to us, it doesn't feel real, But I want something that's so big that even if you're not touched by it, it feels big. Like I want to discover some aliens. Or do a thing, right?
Seems like it'd have to be aliens, right? Like what else could it be?
I do want, or one of those lost civilizations. I want to find some mole people under Antarctica, and they've been under there for like 80,000 years, and their technology is way better than ours,
or way worse. I'm fine with that.
But they're mole people, so we just beat the fuck out of them.
I can't wait to kill it. Yeah.
Or aliens show up and they're like pedaling, and we're like.
Speaking of retarded, when I went to go see Lord of the Rings, when I went to go see Lord of the Rings, it was in theaters, and I was so excited to see it. I think I was like 8th grade, maybe 8th grade. It came out in 98,
like 99, I think. Yeah.
Okay, 98, 99. So that's 8th grade, and I was with my aunt, and like she's kind of like a hippie, and like I was just like, oh, I want to get high to go see it, and she like gave me like a little joint because she knew I was gonna be alone for the day. She had shit to do. My cousin was doing shit, so I got really high. and I went to the theater, and it was like a matinee, and like the movie had been out for a while now, and like no one had wanted to see it, so we were finally going. I was going to see it alone, and I'm walking down the aisle, and no one's in the theater, and I go and I like sit down like 5th row, and like in the middle, like it's like the perfect seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I like look to my right and I see this like big mentally challenged person, which he probably looked at me and thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But
you
he
give
was,
off that aura.
yeah. And I was definitely emanating it now because I was stoned. So I was like,
yeah, cross-eyed.
yeah. And I like looking at him and I look and he comes in and he's like on the level, like this level, like his hat is like,
yeah.
like the hat's like
barely on. Yeah.
Someone put it on him.
Yeah.
Someone put it on him. He didn't put it on even. And like he was just like jogging pants that are his favorite pants, like fluorescent fanny pack that he'll scream if you touch it. And he's like coming down. He's coming down the aisle here. And like
barreling down the aisle.
yeah. Like, and me too. He looked like me, how I did when I was stoned. And I was like, and like he's coming down and I'm looking at him. And all I'm thinking is like, it could have been anyone. I would have been like, don't come here, don't come here, don't come here, don't come here. And he like comes to the aisle and he hasn't seen me yet. And he like turns in the aisle and takes a step. But I like focused all the power I had into like scaring him away. Like he turned and like my bloodshot stoned eyes. I was like, and he was like, duh, 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 and he saw me. And he was like, and he like stepped back and went back a row and just sat there. And I know this guy. I know his type because I am like that too, to an extent. I was in the optimal seating. And he wanted that. And if I didn't look at him like that, he would have sat next to me because that's the second best. And he would have done that not thinking, even though we were in a theater by ourselves, which one time I did sit in the optimal seating and a mentally challenged person did sit right next to me, but it was a full theater. Yeah. So like we had no choice. We're right next to each other. And the craziest thing that happened, also once again, I'm super high, but this happened like 3 years ago. This was like Fast and the Furious 15 or whatever. So it was pretty recent. And I'm like sitting in the theater and I'm looking at the screen and like something very funny happens that I thought was very funny. It was a very subtle, nuanced joke that just happened to that I found very funny, but not really anyone else in the theater thought it was funny. But it happened, and this mentally challenged guy sitting next to me, the stranger, and it happened, and I was like, and he was next to me, and I guess he thought it was funny too, and happy that I enjoyed it. And he was like, he looked at me, and I was next to him, and I was like, I was like scared, like that wasn't a laugh I shared with you, but like it was like to him, I was like, and he was like, like in my face,
like patting you on the back.
Yeah,
that's honestly, that is so sweet. Like
it was.
He's trying to share a social laugh with someone who enjoys something that he does. That's sweet.
And you know what? Like I was like professionally an integration aide for many years. I worked with mentally challenged kids, and like, you know, I volunteered that for years. Like, you know, I was probably like, they're my people. That's me out there. Every single one of them. And like, so I'd like volunteer. Like, so like if I was prepared, I would be embracing. It scared the shit out of me. He was like in my space. Like he was like, and I was like, I was actually like, also I had to tell you, like I was high, like super high. Yeah. It's like I was like already like in a place, but fucking, another. I'm
narrowly
so sorry.
Escaped.
I'm so sorry to hit you guys with like a retard hat trick of a story here.
Just keep going.
Oh, I've got a retard story after yours.
So 3 hours.
My buddy
Amir,
my buddy Amir, God bless him, chef of EpicMealTime. He's a genius guy. You know, like he's just very like smart sometimes, but he's also like, if you ever watch the videos and you know, you'd met him, Kyle, he's like fucking just crazy retarded person. Like he's just fucking crazy. Like he's so insane, people would meet him and be like, "What's wrong with this guy?" And I'm like, "He's retarded." Me too.
I didn't notice anything. I thought he was fine.
Yeah, he's just like there's a look in his eyes, and there's a thing about him.
Was he there for the Star Wars thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe he was just, you saw him where he had like a set thing of tasks to perform, and he loves tasks and a maintained schedule. That's exactly it. Had we shifted something, he would have been like, ah! No, I'm kidding. Not like that, but he is just that type. And I remember one time he got us tickets. Like he's like type like he got us tickets to a movie in advance, got us our seats. He's waiting there like 3 hours, like it's the airport. He's chilling there, and then we come, all of his buddies, and there's a guy there that he always tries to race to beat, because that guy, who's fully retarded, wants to get the optimal seating, but Amir wants the optimal seating. And
Wait, they know each other?
Well, they're at every big premiere, like
the same social worker.
Like Amir will be like, my fucking nemesis got optimal seating in Top Gun. He was there before me. I can't believe it. If there was one movie I wanted optimal seating, it was Top Gun. And then it'll be like Jurassic World. I fucking had his ass, and he came with a friend too. Fuck them both. But like they have an ongoing beef.
It's a
where,
rivalry.
Like, yeah. In my head, I think they're low key best friends. He just doesn't know it. But so this guy who's retarded, who knows Amir is retarded too, because he sees him doing the retard movie thing where he's got to get the seat and he's got to be there for that optimal seating. Like, if he's So this retard's been watching Amir, and he sees him and he knows this is like my retarded brother, you know. Then he sees like me and all my buddies come in, and now that other retard's confused because he's like, "What?" Because we're seeing Amir, we're dapping him up, and this guy's like, "Huh? How did you, a fellow retarded brother, managed to round up a squad of fucking normies like that?" You know? So I'm standing with Amir, and I was like, Amir, I'm like, a retard over there is really checking you out. He's like, which? And I'm like, don't you know who?
You know, the one you have a rivalry with.
Yeah, recognize Reet, the one that's looking at you right now that knows you're retarded, and you know. And Amir's like, I didn't even see it. And now I'm watching Amir from like a distance. Here I get my popcorn, I stand back, and I'm watching Amir, and I see now that I'm away and Amir's alone, this guy's like, I'm gonna roll up on this dude, and I'm gonna ask him like, what are the secrets, you know? And so this like retarded guy starts to approach Amir, who's also a retarded guy, and now Amir, like, he's been doing the long con. He thinks he has us convinced that we don't think he's retarded when we know he is. And so like Amir doesn't want to fuck that up, I guess, or whatever it is. But this retarded guy like walks up to Amir, like, yeah, and Amir, he didn't actually do this, what I'm about to demonstrate. It was something different, but this encapsulates it perfectly. Amir, as he came close, Amir was kind of like and that guy was like, oh shit, and like backed away. Like it was like, don't fuck this up for me. And I saw the guy wanted to know, like, yo, how do you hold a conversation with these guys? Like, why don't they know you're like, you keep it a secret? Are you upfront about it or what, you know?
Yeah. He's in the closet. He's in the play chest.
Well, and that's the same guy that laughed with me, by the way. That's the same guy that sat next to me because I had optimal seating. No, I had optimal seating with Amir, so he ended up next to me because that's the second most optimal seat. It just he happens to be part of both of these stories.
Is there one theater in Canada?
Well,
how are you guys?
I will tell you something.
Showtime for every movie.
If you're this type of person, you want the best.
You want the best seat
in Montreal. There happens to be an IMAX theater that is one of the newest IMAX theaters in all of Canada. So, like, yeah, I'm pretty normal, bro. I'll go see the fucking movie here. That's it. Amir will drive like an extra 35 minutes to get the IMAX experience because like the screen is 20% bigger. And like that's okay, you know, I'm okay with that.
Although that the field trip to the aquarium with the special ed class where that girl shit herself, that was a fun field trip. That's not even a bad field trip.
That's the type of thing I would call up a friend and be like, I can't believe you were sick today, bro. Shelly, Shelly, she shot herself.
Her name was Michelle, I think.
Michelle.
So close.
Shelly.
I had a feeling.
So
my mom taught
Reet,
special ed.
recognize Reet.
My mom taught special ed, and she was like, "Kyle, do you want to tag along with my group of special ed students to go to the aquarium today?" And third grade me had no like social awareness,
Yeah,
and I was
you were
like,
pretty
"The
retarded
aquarium,
also."
you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go." And so I just tagged along with all the retarded kids.
That's awesome.
You have no. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
My favorite thing.
No, go ahead.
There's no part of you at all, that looks back and you were like, "Was I retarded too?"
Yeah, was it? Did they take me there because I was supposed to be on the retarded field trip, and that was how they broke it to me?
I was a retard. I was retarded. I did in the first grade when everyone was like learning like how to write out all the letters of the alphabet. Miss Monroe would come and she took me, Newton, and Douglas. And Newton was like 5 years older than us for sure in first grade. Douglas was like, even though I didn't have the word for it, I was like, "This kid's retarded." Like, I don't know what I said then, but
you
I
manifested
knew.
that word like
I
it's
knew. Yeah.
It's retarded.
And sometimes like I did things and I was like, "I'm retarded." But I had the Miss Monroe would come and I'd be like, "Peace, bitches," to like everyone that my buddies over there, because they're gonna be writing the words. And I would go with Douglas and Newton. We would like roll clay balls. And she'd be like, "Smooth out the cracks," and I'd smooth it out. And I was just like, "You guys are stupid. Like, my life is so much better than yours." And then at the end of the first grade, I remember the teacher being like, and this was really fucked up. This is like 1992, but it's just fucked up. And I remember it so clearly. She goes, "Everyone passed except for Douglas and Newton." And I was like, "Oh my God." I thought that I would have had to repeat grade 1 because I was everywhere with Douglas and Newton. When Douglas and Newton did something, I was there with them. They're rolling clay balls. I'm there with them. An adult is wiping their ass for them. I'm there with them.
You're holding the roll.
Like every step of the way. And so I thought, as I got older, I mean, like, you know, I look back and I was like, I guess I was kind of retarded at the beginning.
You were borderline. They didn't know. They didn't know which path you were going to take.
Exactly. Maybe they were doing like they were running the litmus test on you, the aquarium retard litmus test.
Yeah.
They're like, bring him too.
Dude,
did he shit himself? No. Clean drawers. All right. 4th grade it is. The rest of you. Go to the closet.
It is wild how similar. I've mentioned on the show before, so I'll be quick. But
no, we're all retards.
I was
not all of us.
I was also in retard reading in kindergarten.
Retard reading.
Yeah, it was me. It was me, Joe, and Travis. And Miss Huffman would say, "It's time for reading. Taylor, Joe, and Travis go to the Miss whoever." And then we would go over there, and exactly the same. The reason I got in trouble is because I figured out, I memorized like Susie's Red Bike instead of learning what letters did. And then she gave me a different book one day and I started reciting Susie's Red Bike and she busted me. And I remember thinking, like, even in my head at 5, like, you're going to have to learn this eventually. Like, you can't fake it till you make it your whole life. And so I got taken over there and we didn't have clay balls, but it would be the easiest shit ever. It'd be like, "Joe, what's wrong with this sentence?" And it'd be like, "Dog, no eat, no eat." And then he'd be like, "It should say dog not hungry." And then he'd be like, "No, close, like Taylor." And he'd be like, the dog is not hungry right now." And then they'd be like, "That's perfectly structured. Here's a Tootsie Roll." And I'm like, dude, I'm banging on all cylinders here because next to Travis and Joe, I was fucking Steph Curry. Swish, swish, swish. Didn't miss. Constant aces. High fives from the teacher. I'm breaking the curve in the retard reading course. And then I got pulled out of it and they put me back in the regular class before the end of kindergarten. That's so funny that we were all retarded.
Oh, dude.
At McDonald's, where I worked for a week when I was 15 once, even though I'd been there a week, I guess I wasn't stupid enough to be tricked into this. So I was in on the joke. But they sent the guy to go get the pickles for the Big Mac sauce. Like, yeah, you got to dice them up, and he's looking everywhere for these fancy Big Mac sauce pickles. So that's a pretty common one, sending someone for something that doesn't exist.
What was I going to say? Oh, you mentioned working at McDonald's for a week. So my father, when he told the stories of us about his childhood, it was always in the most positive, like legendary aspects. My father had a paper route, right? And you think, oh, paper route. But no, he took it to the extreme. Like whenever a new route opened up, he'd take that one on too. And he'd just get more and more paper routes. And it got to be that he was like the paper route, like, I don't know, Don of
Kingpin.
Of Gloucester City, New Jersey. And you know, he started like, he had so many paper routes that he took on that he would sublet them out to other kids. And, you know, be like, all right, you deliver this. And he'd just take whatever, I don't know what, but some percentage of the profits. So now, like, he's in charge of the paper route, but he has minions under him who actually send the papers from place to place. And this is my father, the entrepreneur, right? Always a winner. So then I talked to his mom about it. And she's like, oh, yeah, the paper routes. He tried work once. He tried real work once. It didn't suit him. And I'm like, what? Dad, you never told me about this. Apparently he had a job working at like a general store or something, whatever they worked at back in the 1400s. And he had to sweep the floors and he didn't like sweeping and he quit within a few days. And it was so awesome to talk to his mom about his experience compared to himself.
You were getting the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have admitted.
Yeah. He never told me he worked for like, I don't know, they sold like candy and stuff. I picture it like a, you know, pharmaceutical stores from the 30s or something. And he wasn't even born then. And he couldn't do it.
I didn't know that Kyle worked at McDonald's for a week. So you have as much McDonald's experience as I had. No, you had more McDonald's experience than I had Ben and Jerry's experience.
Oh yeah, like in that week, I did a lot. Like if I walked in, like I did everything there is to do at a McDonald's. I never took I take that back. I never took the orders or handled cash, but all the behind the scenes stuff. So I made nuggets, I made burgers, like I cooked them. I assembled sandwiches on the line, you know, and boxed them and slid them on down and everything. You know, made apple pies, made all the things that you cook. I did at one time or another. It was a terrible job. Yeah, it was a terrible job. Very dirty back there. I can remember taking the trash out and having like this gross slime on my hands and telling my manager I needed to wash my hands, but him being like, no, you got to get on the line, and just being like, but my hands, him like, the line. And I just made burgers with the most filthy hands imaginable because he told
disgusting.
Me to. I mean, it was garbage slime, you know, when that water smells really bad and it just probably got salmonella in it.
I know a lot of people. I've met people in my life that owning a restaurant is their dream job, right? You know, they know it's long hours, they know it's hard, but the restaurant is the peak of what they wish they could do. Not me, man. I used to work at a little grill, and the garbage was the worst part of it. I was low man on the totem pole, and I would have to handle that. And I wasn't very strong, so handling the garbage was like the peak of what I could do physically. And it was just such a freaking nightmare. And there's nothing grosser than restaurant garbage for me. I mean, it's just so bad. Does any other organization produce worse garbage?
Nursing home.
Okay.
All right, well, checkmate.
It's just a matter of being better packaged.
Every once in a while, there's a person in there.
we had a big issue. Like the garbage is always leaky and stuff, and we had to like transport the whole can to the dumpster because if you were to grab the bag and carry that to the dumpster, it would leak across the boardwalk, and that you don't want.
Wheelbarrow.
A wheelbarrow.
The old McDonald's garbage.
Yeah, there would be like multiple bags, like probably 4 to 5 big bags, like the big 50-something gallon ones. And you'd throw them in the wheelbarrow and wheel it across the parking lot to one of those sort of enclosed dumpster situations. And then bag by bag, throw it in there. And I don't know, even at 15, I was about 6 feet tall. So they would make me do that shit because a lot of times it would just be me working with a bunch of girls or me working with a bunch of girls and that retarded guy they allowed to sweep the parking lot or some shit like that. I thought it was going to be a fun job. I had a couple friends that were working there, and I thought, oh, yeah, we'll be like, you know, singing songs while we throw pickles at each other. But no, it was just super lame. And my boss was such a goober. Like, I was cooler than him even as a 15-year-old working at McDonald's, and I knew it. He had married into, like, that McDonald's family. Like, the lady who actually owns the franchise, right? He had married her daughter. So he had married into like a little local Mickey D's royalty, and he thought he was hot shit.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, right.
More than
Like,
you
oh
might
yeah,
guess.
the money fountain has turned on for you, my friend. You're
No. The nuggets are on me. I
Dude,
I stole so much food.
Yeah.
I would always like I don't even like McDonald's nuggets, but they were there and they were free. So I would have
They weren't
little
free. You
packets.
stole them.
Yeah, they were free for me. So I'd have like packets of nugget sauce, like open, kind of like tucked around behind shit, and I would just be like eating nuggets all the time. Or sometimes I would just grab a whole meat patty and like just I just thought it was great
Oh.
to steal the food. So anytime I got a chance to steal some food, I would do it. I would bake like 2 or 3 cherry pies and then go in the freezer and like fucking eat 3 cherry pies as fast as I could.
I
Shit
had
like that.
I had a
Just
hookup
cramming
at
your
McDonald's.
face like
It-
you're like Oliver Twist in the back, hoping they don't catch you as you're slaving over hot stove.
I had a friend who worked at McDonald's, and he worked the drive-through. Big, strong guy, and we'd go and we'd order like a small fry, And back in the day, a small fry was like 50 cents or something, and then he'd give us like $21 worth of food. He'd just like, it just like bag after bag after bag, and it's like how far is this gonna go? And then you did hand him over 2 quarters, and I guess we're
Yeah.
even.
I told you guys
Yeah.
about my friend from Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Yes,
Who
you
worked-
ruined the.
No.
Wait, the story where the waitress fucked up. So maybe not. Tell us.
No, just all the stealing of food reminded me of this. When I was a freshman in college, someone I knew from my dorm worked at the Buffalo Wild Wings near campus, and he didn't work there all the time. And eventually, it got to the point where he was like, "You know what? Fuck this! Like, I'm not making good money. I'm only going when there's no games on because I'm a student. I want to watch the games for real. So I'm just gonna quit." And we're like, "All right, cool." And so he quit. And his last night, he came back with must have been 20 pounds of boneless wings in the plastic bags and a 5-gallon giant plastic pouch of honey barbecue sauce.
Nice.
And so he was rushing a fraternity at the time, and everybody fucking loved him because he just was like, "Hey, I got enough fucking honey barbecue wings for the next 3 weeks." And if you look it up on their menu, that's like $400 of wings or something ludicrous that he stole. And I guess I was like, well, how'd you get that out of there, man? Like, did you just sneak it out or what'd you do? He's
Yeah.
like, no, they got in the refrigerator, they got a huge bag of wings and then a big bag of sauce. And so I just said bye to my boss. And then I walked back there and took them and walked to my car. We were like, there was no plan. And he's like, no, I didn't really even think it through till I got back to campus. And it was like, so, God, fucking idiot. But
That's how it. So there was definitely no lock and key on the food at McDonald's. There just wasn't any good food at McDonald's to steal. Like I didn't want to take any of that home. But I did remember, like, you get a free meal. So I would make my own meal, and I would make like a Big Mac. But I like their grilled chicken breast. I thought that was the actual best thing on the menu because it was tasty. And I'd make like a double. I'd make a grilled chicken Big Mac. I always like coming up with like magical. I just make stuff, just add stuff to it. I definitely ate more. I ate more than they paid me. Like they were paying me whatever it was, $5.15 an hour or something like that, and I was eating like $8 worth of shit an hour. I had to be.
that's a feat at McDonald's to out eat them.
Especially old school. And McDonald's, did you see the Reddit post of like McDonald's Next or whatever they're calling it?
Yeah, it's so
What is it?
silly.
It looked amazing. It was a really seemingly high-end buffet McDonald's experience with an amazing salad bar, and like they were really changing their image. It was nothing like the McDonald's that I have in my head.
That's not that because they're not doing as well as they used to. I think they've had bad numbers the last few years, so they're trying to figure something out. I know they just released some sort of new like dollar deal thing where you can get like 4 or 5 items for like $4 or something like that. I think it's like 5 things for $4, something like that. So they're really reaching, but going high end is not their.
I feel like
not the
people
end.
dog on McDonald's so hard that they need to totally make it like the opposite. Like, gosh, I've been telling this story a lot recently, but to tell it quickly, when I first worked at Cisco, I used to kind of, I don't want to say disrespect my manager, but I would maybe point out their stupidity. Like I was much smarter than my managers, and every little thing they did, I'd just kind of poke at. Like if it's Wednesday and they're like, so 2 days from now, that'll be, and all I need to do is like make a look, or like you're seriously struggling to figure out Friday is 2 days from Wednesday. that kind of shit I would do constantly. Like they just make little mistakes and I wouldn't let it slide. Eventually they counseled me to fix it, and I did, but it took forever for people to notice the change. I was frustrated by that. They're like, yeah, well, you like to poke at your managers. I'm like, no, I stopped 6 weeks ago. You
Were
can't.
you the resident badass on the floor at Cisco where like you're walking by and Pajit or whatever his name is, like he goes, that is Matt. He does not give a fuck what the manager says. It is crazy. Just watch him sometime. He says all of these things. I cannot believe it.
It was
It's
pretty
like,
cool. It was the .com boom, and engineers were like every bit as valuable as their bosses were, and I maybe took advantage of that. But anyway, so I cleaned up my act. I started being really good, and 6 weeks later, it was like I still had this reputation for being a douche. At McDonald's, I feel like they've got a similar type thing. Like they are McJob is a thing. No one says like Job King or Wendy Job or whatever it is. It's McJob. That's like the job that everyone makes fun of. I think they have to pay extra just to get people to choose them over Wendy's. If they want to clean up their like dietary act and make it healthier, they need to go extreme. People think of McDonald's as the food that makes you fast, right? The Super Size Me thing was based on McDonald's. Everybody freaking like throws darts at McDonald's, maybe deservedly, but to fix it, McDonald's can't just be as good for you as Wendy's, which is not that good. They need to be as good for you as Whole Foods or something.
Have you walked into a McDonald's recently? Like the redone ones? Like I haven't been to a shitty McDonald's. I can't even remember how long. All of them are nice if you go in on the inside.
I don't know. In my heart, I just kind of look down on McDonald's and say, like, I wouldn't eat at a place like that. Like, this temple here gets better food than that. But I might be off target.
Wendy's.
Right?
Chick-fil-A.
It's better. Chick-fil-A is infinitely better than McDonald's. For the quality, it's got to be.
I think I'm the only guy that still holds a grudge on their, like, Christian anti-gay hate bigotry. Like, even my daughter, who you would think would be very stick to her guns about that sort of thing.
A little fickle when it comes to that hate chicken.
She's like, those bigots make a good sandwich.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Look,
if they had, go ahead.
They could literally be grinding gays up to make that chicken and I would still eat it. That chicken is so fucking good. It's sweet almost somehow. And the batter is different. The whole experience is different. I like the waffle fries. I like the sweet tea. I like the lemonade. I don't care what they're doing if they were going after if they were going after me personally, I would still eat their chicken. It's good chicken.
Put a mask
how
on.
McDonald's used to have on their bags, it'd be like Mia Hamm's choice or like Michael Jordan's pick, and it's like a Big Mac, which he clearly didn't eat. Chick-fil-A could have like the Grand Wizard's selection, and it's like a PKA thing with his nuggets. Like I'd still eat it. It's great, and they're so nice to you there compared to every other fast food place. Like, they don't even say, you're welcome. They say, my pleasure.
Dude,
at the ones near me.
Chick-fil-A franchises are cheap. Like, as much as I hate the idea of owning a restaurant, I was like, maybe. Because you can get a Chick-fil-A franchise for like $400,000.
They'll give you a Chipotle franchise. They'll pay you $500 just to open one at this point.
So yeah, Chick-fil-A, like McDonald's, or I'm sorry, a good Wendy's location will be like $3 million. I looked into this recently, and a Chick-fil-A will be like $250,000 to $400,000. It's like, what is the scoop with this? And they're way more profitable than a Wendy's.
They're always packed.
But like they kind of select you. They make sure that you're a good Christian before you can open a Chick-fil-A. You have to like work your way up to owner at Chick-fil-A. Like Wendy's, they'll sell me a fucking franchise. I'll be like, I don't know anything about owning a restaurant. No problem. We'll send you to Wendy's Academy. At Chick-fil-A, like you need to have worked the register for a while and be selected. They need to get to know you. It's a different culture.
If I were going to open a franchise, it would be Cookout. I've said this before, but every time I go to it, the place is just called Cookout. They've got a really massive menu. They do everything from hot dogs and hamburgers to they got like 50 different milkshakes and I don't know, quesadillas and just a little bit of everything, kind of like a Jack in the Box type place, but it's better. It's much better. And I've seen, kind of. But every time I've seen them open up, I saw one open up in Anderson, South Carolina, and I saw one open up in East Atlanta. And the lines for the first couple of months are so outrageous that it causes traffic problems. Like the one in East Atlanta, you didn't even use the standard ordering technique. They used cones to make a giant line that just went around the borders of the parking lot. And when you first got it in the back of the line, if you're the last person, a guy comes to your car and hands you a paper menu, and you've got like 5 minutes to look over this menu before you get to the point in line, and you're in your car still, of course, where you get in point in line where someone says, okay, what would you like? And they write it down on a piece of paper and give it to you. And when you finally get to the speaker, you don't order. You hand it to another guy, and he says it into the speaker. And then you wait some more. And it's absurd, this line. And it literally, I'm not exaggerating, 3 a.m, it's still like that. Like, and I'm just thinking, like, they're bringing in so much cash selling these hot dogs and hamburgers to these people. It's ridiculous. And it was true in both cases, and it is good food.
Gang stalking. I somehow found something about gang stalking again that got me interested in reading their subreddit about gang stalking again. And reminder, gang stalking is when people believe that dozens of people, if not more, hundreds, are following them in similarly colored cars, and they want to either kill them or harm them. And it could be something as simple as someone approaching you in the supermarket and saying, did you notice that how much are those avocados? Are they're $6.99 a pound or $6.65 a pound? It's like, oh, they're using the number 6. That's an evil number. They're trying to steal my energy. They're trying to pin me down. I have to get out of here. And so it's like, it's genuine. Like, I thought it was going to be more entertaining to read through it, but it turns out it's just like a cavalcade of people with clearly having quasi-psychotic episodes, encouraging each other in that, where someone will say, like, I saw 5 red trucks today. 5 on my way to the bank. On the way back, I saw 3 more. Also, my neighbor, she stopped me and she said, I got this mail for you. Address on the envelope, 665 Northwest Post Ave, whatever. And it's like, all of this to them is like, and another thing, and another thing. And people will comment and respond and be like, better be on edge, man. Like, and it's like,
clearly
this is, and the only people that go in there to try and fix it are doing it in the most like tone deaf, mean-spirited, like, you guys are all retards and you're fucking morons and you need to go to a psychiatrist because you're mentally ill. And it's like, you're not gonna, they just by starting that conversation, everybody who believes this is already like, that's a perpetrator of this. That's someone that you need to, that person is trying to undercut us, gentlemen. It's trying to undercut us here. Don't believe them. So they're
clearly mentally
more
ill.
real than you think.
They're clearly mentally ill. But look, I always side on the side of caution when I hear something like this, because I know how the internet works. So when I don't believe that there are very, very many people who actually believe the earth is flat, for example.
Yeah.
I think that there are people who are trolling and they're like, oh yeah, it's flat. Oh yeah, here's this study. Let me show you. And they really love both of the reactions that you'll get. They would love it when someone is like, holy shit, man, you're right. They're like, I got another one. But they also love it when people are like, are you insane? And then they spend 30 minutes trying to prove that the world is round. Like, either way, they win. I think there are a lot of people who are like that. And then those are the ones who have like above average intelligence. And then there's all the dummies who are like, holy shit, man, maybe they're right. Maybe we're just on a big sandbox somewhere floating in the nether realm or whatever the fuck they believe. And like the explanations for what the earth actually looks like is always so absurd. They think it looks like the iris of an eye, or it's a big triangle, or it's always something nonsensical.
Or it's like a flat plane that's a circle, but it's the Arctic that's a complete circle around with the ice wall you can't get past. And they never, or at least I haven't done my due diligence, I'll admit, but I've never seen a convincing argument about why every other planet is round. Like, why would we be special?
They don't believe that they are. I think that I've heard both. I've heard them be like, "Oh no, all the planets are like that. It's just a flat side facing us," and it's like, but they're rotating. But then I've heard them say that it's just us. We're the only one with people on it. Duh, dude.
Yeah, duh, idiot. The one with people on it has to be flat, otherwise you'd fall off. There'd be no Australia.
No, it's just nonsense. And so when I hear the gang stalking thing, that is so absurd that I think that you have like a very small minority of people who have schizophrenia being like egged on by internet trolls.
I think that's probably true to an extent, because there's clearly a bunch of posts here that is just people showing up to bully them. Or even sometimes I've seen people will make a post and be like, I made a post yesterday saying that I was an ex-perpetrator of gang stalking and I laid it all out and all of you retards fell for it. Ha ha ha. I was lying the whole time. And it's like, don't believe his backtracking. His seniors must have called him out on his lapse. And it's like, oh, you're really not helping here, man. You're not helping these people to see through the delusion. It's spooky. I feel bad for people with that level of delusion because you know that, like, to them, they're not faking. It's 100% real to them. Like, everything makes, it's like if you read about people with paranoid schizophrenia, like, it's not like Hollywood. Oh, these people are murderers and killers and they're just going to snap. And it's like, no, these people are mostly like concerned because the person at the bank spent longer looking at the screen when they gave them their debit card than they usually do, which means, of course, that they're sending a side email to the NSA to report them for purchases they've been making. What purchases? Doesn't matter because I'm a targeted individual and they're going to come after. And it's like, it's wild. It is wild when you get into these communities.
And they've never got a good explanation.
Don't harass them, just read it.
Like, they've never got a good, like, if they had like a background story about how, like, oh yeah, it's all of the people like born under this astrological sign. Like there's a cult and they believe that all the Tauruses are going to be blood sacrifices for when Cthulhu comes back. And so they're keeping track of us. If it was something like that, you'd be like, shit, I'm a Taurus. like looking out the window, like
that's what it
buy into a little bit. But they're just like, yeah, there's red cars and the number 6. It's like, well, there's only 10 numbers. No,
yeah.
There's only 9 numbers, right? Yeah, like whole numbers, you know, obviously just. And then there's only so many fucking colors that cars come in.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're looking for, it's funny that it's red. Like
there's 10 numbers.
It's not
numbers.
like, oh, all of these cars in British racing green. It's like, no, they go with a common one that like tons of trucks are in red for reasons, and like that's just doesn't make sense. Well, obviously, it doesn't make sense
to me at some level because here's the deal. Fly paramotor. And because of that, and I made these paramotor videos, there's some people in the aviation community that thought either I or my setup was interesting. So planes pass over the house and then they pass over it like again and again. And they're flying lowish at like 1,000 feet, making multiple passes over my house. And I'm like, does he watch my videos? Why is this like little Cessna or this helicopter going back and forth over my house? It's not crazy. People have sent me pictures or said, Woody, I flew over your house. I was checking it out. And on the other hand, you know, I feel like a guy watching black helicopters saying that they're here to get me.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, most of these people don't even have something flying over them at all.
Right.
And there's a mix of like what flavor the delusion is, I can tell, because there will be disagreements here between the people who think that it's a government, NSA, FBI, CIA psyop, which like is like, okay, well, at least those organizations do a lot of psyops. They're not spying on you though. And the other side, which is like satanic demons, where like, no, don't let them make you believe that these are, you know, this is anything but Satan and evil and demons tracking you in like human form. It is. Oh, I just saw this post. An FBI, CIA type trick to trick me. Let's see what this says. A few years ago, I was active on the. Or you guys talk for a second. Let me make sure that this isn't stupid.
On a related note, Tucker Carlson did this, and I'm not sure if he's crazy or not. Did you follow this news at all, Kyle? Tucker Carlson saying, okay, so he announced that I think the NSA, CIA, one of the 3-letter agencies, was reading his mail and spying on him, and they were like, this is crazy. Tucker is not the target of an investigation. Well, that response is a little bit lawyerly, right? They didn't say we didn't do anything he said. They said he's not a target. Later, it comes out that this is what they did. They monitor emails to and from like Russian agents and Russian politicians just through like nosy tracking sort of spying type shit. I don't know how they do it. And some of them were from Tucker Carlson because he was trying to get an interview with Vladimir Putin. He didn't, but like that's what he was working on, which is a reasonable thing for someone in Tucker's position to do.
Yeah.
And then they unmasked him, which is normally when there's an American involved, they keep their identity private. Just say like Vladimir Putin sent an email to person of interest 1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But they looked into it and they said this was Tucker who was doing it. And I don't know what to make of that.
Aren't they not supposed to do that?
Unmasking?
Yeah.
That's where I'm stuck. So there's a part of me that's like, dude, you know, they're looking into it. They're supposed to monitor this mail, I suppose. And they unmasked you. Stop making a big deal out of it. Then the other side of me is like, what are you, cuck? Like, unmasking is a big deal. They're not supposed to be doing that. You're a citizen. What, you're okay with being spied on? You know, like, so I don't know if what they
I don't
did
care
is
who it
outrageous
is, but if it's one of
not.
those alphabet agencies doing something like unmasking, I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, I don't like that. They don't have enough power. They don't have enough leeway to do whatever the fuck they want. They got to just insult to injury, show like, yeah, we can do whatever we want. And because we have gay pornography of every politician, nothing's going to happen. Like,
it's like the Incredibles, you know, like, you know, when everybody's super, nobody's super. I feel like at some point, all the politicians should be like, well, I'm not embarrassed. They've got gay porn on all of us. But
that would be funny. They all come out and they're like, guys, all at once now, let's just admit to being pedophiles. They can't vote all of us out.
You know, we're incumbents. We win anyway.
But yeah. So they unmasked Tucker Carlson, even so he wasn't the target of it. They were just monitoring emails to Putin, and but he added like spice to it. This is the thing. Tucker is like, they're doing this and they're trying to take my show in the air. They want to take away my First Amendment rights. They want to lock me up. They want all of that spice was untrue, but it was true that they read his emails and said his name.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought it was somehow it was tied into the CIA's watching me thing. Taylor, was your post worth it?
It was not. It
Okay.
really went off the rails. You keep reading these and you're like, is it gonna get funny? And it's like, oh no, this is a catastrophic life event for this person that they thought they saw, you know, an FBI agent tracking them. And one of the rationales I've seen for why they're targeted is almost narcissistic. And that seems to permeate a lot of people with like paranoid delusions also, where it's like you're so important that these people need to devote inordinate resources to tracking you, go work at Kohl's and then come back and watch fucking Price is Right. And it's about energy. A lot of them say, they'll say like, be wary of contact with people. If someone asks you to do something for them as a favor, they wield power over you now. That is a form of psychic manipulation. Now you're more likely to do something for them in the future. And you've surrendered a bit of power. Now they know that they can get you and work you into the pattern they want. It's like, how have your patterns changed in the last 3 years? It's like, not at all. Okay. I mean,
Assistant to the manager at Kohl's.
And it's like, apparently it's like against the rules here to bring up mental illness. Like if you say, literally, like if you say like, you know, this is thinking that someone has implanted bugs into your head and is recording things in your brain is a very common form of paranoid delusion where they think like, you know, literally there's an audio plant in my head. That's why I'm hearing voices. It's not because I have a neurological disorder. It's this plant. And like in the moment, you feel bad for them. You can't help feel bad for them because it's like they believe that as much as like, you know, a Muslim believes in their religion. Like 1,000,000%. Like if you were to put a gun to their head and be like, are you psychotic or is there a fucking plant in your head? They'd be like, there's a plant in my head. Why would I lie if you're going to kill me? Like they really are sold 100% on it.
Well, that probably shouldn't be a subreddit. It sounds like they are reinforcing some people's mental illness and that could end poorly.
That's how a lot of subreddits go. It's like we're a community, and then it's like, don't come in here with your facts. We're talking about gang stalking. And what are some other good forums on that, like on Reddit, that are just ridiculous and mental illness inducing, or at least encouraging, if not inducing? I'm trying to think.
Women.
Ask Women. I've never been there. What the fuck is on Ask Women?
I was just teasing.
I got it though. I was slow, but I got it.
Ask women, how do I drive? Casually got stabbed.
It's a very, very common thing in Scotland. It was actually really fucking bad here for a very long time. It got to the point where if you got caught with a knife, it was 6 months mandatory sentence. Like no ifs, no buts, 6 months. And then the prisons filled up really fucking quickly, and they had to like dial that back.
I have a
But
question.
yeah, we were the murder capital of Western Europe for
When they
fucking
say no
decades,
knife,
yeah.
does that apply to shorter knives and multi-tools and stuff? Like
You can be arrested for having a multi-tool. Yeah.
That's insane.
that? Yeah, that's really bonkers.
What if you
I
was
carry
like-
a
So
multi-tool
there was a
all the
guy in
time.
there was a guy in Aberdeen that got arrested for having a potato peeler. Google it. Like yeah. It's the thing is, see if you're fishing or hunting or camping, it's then down to the police officer's discretion. Like
Without
he can-
moving my chair, I can reach 5 knives and 3 axes.
Well, keep them there, and you won't have any kind of problems.
You won't have the Scottish authorities breathing down your neck.
It's weird to me that they have laws against just like sharpened edges. Like that's
It's-
We
crazy.
have them
because
here.
we-
though.
it's
You can't-
because
you
we
can't
don't-
walk
we
the
don't have-
streets with a
yeah.
with a blade. In
They don't
most
have a
states,
constitution.
right?
I have a multi-tool in my pocket always.
Yeah,
no, you
that's
get
a
arrested for
big
that, yeah.
difference. Don't we have like a 3-inch limit on the blade that you can carry?
It's
or
something like I have 3.5 in my head, but I'm low confidence. Yeah.
That's interesting though, because there's constitutional carry of firearms in so many places where you can just strap that bitch on your hip. Does it pertain to swords? Can I throw a katana on my back?
Absolutely, you can. Yeah,
sure?
The one
Yeah.
question I got wrong on my concealed carry
Pretty
was
sure.
that it enables me to carry knives. It doesn't.
Oh, I thought you could just carry knives and like by default,
I'm going by that. You
Uh-uh.
know,
I don't think
or
so.
maybe like special knives, like the ones that they do have limits on, like butterfly knives or those like ones that shoot out. Like I know they have laws about those, right?
Why are
Uh,
butterfly knives like illegal, but you could walk down the street with the big fucking like crocodile
AR-15.
Dundee fucking
It's got to
thing?
be something
Yeah.
from movies where that it's something that got legislated because somebody saw something scary in a movie. It has nothing to do with the danger.
I
of a
bet you're
butterfly
100%
knife.
right.
It totally is. It's the same with switchblades, right? Every bad guy in a movie is like flick. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a bad knife.
Well-
Bad knife.
see the weird thing about it is like see all these things in Scotland, you can buy them. You can
Mhm.
buy them and you can have them in your house. The instant you leave your garden, you're breaking the law.
how do you get
That's
it
true
home?
here of a lot of things. So there's
That's
a lot
it,
of things we sell here as paperweights that are just bludgeoning weapons. And like Amazon's got plenty of them. There's plenty of paperweight brass knuckles or like blackjacks or all
Mhm.
sorts of little bludgeoning tools and instruments.
They're all illegal here. See, even like the spring batons, like the police use,
Yeah.
totally illegal. Not allowed them. You're not allowed pepper spray. You're not allowed tasers.
What a cricket bat.
A cricket bat for playing cricket. Yeah,
Of
you're
course,
allowed
that's what
that,
it's
yeah.
for.
Yeah, of course. Well, what was it they say? Oh, well, if you keep a baseball bat in your car, also keep a mitt. You're loyal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
But
So it's like-
and like if I'm ever showed up to beat somebody up with a baseball bat, I'm wearing my uniform. I got cleats on. I
Meanwhile,
got
you're
some
like
shoe wear.
36 years old. You haven't played baseball in 18 years.
It's like that gang for the
Hey,
Warriors.
come at me.
Doesn't fit right.
I'm wearing that fucking like the whole uniform to court too. It came at me when I was playing ball. What are you playing, sir?
See,
Irrelevant.
It's my made up game.
speaking of weapons, because there's a lot of street violence in Scotland, that's why it was like, oh, that stuff was like horrendously like illegal. You would get immediate time for it. But there was one big fight I was in because, like I said, like youths, we're from here. You're not from here. We
Mm.
don't want you here. And then the fight would start. Well, there was a fight where there was all of us and there was all of them. Everyone always goes like, oh, why are you talking about shit like this on stream? This is Scotland. This is just what people did growing up. Like, fucking, this is just the way things are here. But a guy turned up to a fight with a step ladder, a little step ladder, like a little 3-step step ladder, and we are all laughing at him and pointing at him, going like that. What the fuck? What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? And everyone, and then we all charged in at each other. I got knocked out with a step ladder. at least allegedly, I don't remember a fucking thing. I don't remember shit. Like I just remember like sort of waking up like after it, and I'm sort of like body jerking around and shit like that, and all my friends are going, "Fucking hell, man! Your head ate that fucking step ladder, man! Like you got fucked up."
I would love to see a
So,
street gang in Scotland just like roll in office chairs.
Various things from the supply
16
cupboard.
people going backwards.
A
You're
stapler.
eating like chicken legs, like but the bones are slightly sharp.
I do like the idea that they all have staplers, whipping them around like nunchucks.
like they're the jets, snapping at you with swinging staplers around. I bet you can fuck somebody up with a stapler.
It's just the weapon laws here are just like fucking so strict. Like firearms are just completely gone. Like none at all. It's like you get people as well that go, no, you can like get a shotgun and you can get like you can apply for a license, but like to meet the requirements, it's just not possible. The only way that you ever meet the requirements for any type of firearms, like pistols, full ban. Pistols are completely banned. You're not allowed them, full stop. But like you can get like a deer hunting rifle or a shotgun, but the hoops and requirements you have to meet are so strict that like nobody gets it. And in order to get those licenses, you would have to have never even breathed near a police officer in your entire life. Like I got my you see even an air rifle, like a little 2.2 spring loaded like air rifle, you need a license for that as well. And my license got rejected, not for the Nazi pug stuff, not for the fucking fighting or anything like that, but because when I was 17, I was caught drinking in the street. That's
So
why my license
disallows you forever from owning a hunting rifle
for something that happened like 15 years prior. So not even a hunting rifle, a 2.2 air rifle. This thing would give a deer a slight bruise. Right? It's just.
I mean, I'm pretty sure those are in the toy section in America.
Yeah, if you shot me with that, you would hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
and then Woody would respond with a real weapon.
Yeah,
Woody'd be like, "That's neat. Here's my gun." Like,
no, the reason they got banned was this happened in Glasgow. There was firefighters attending like a building that was on fire, and everyone was crowded round to watch. And some dickhead was firing an air rifle at the firefighters, but then he hit like this. He hit like this 2-year-old boy in the head, and the 2-year-old boy ended up dying. And because of that, all air rifles absolutely banned. So basically, there was shit tons of hobbyists like all over Scotland, and it was like a pretty expensive industry. It was pulling in like a few million like every year and everything like that. But now it's completely, utterly shut down because, like I said, the hoops you need to jump through, the requirements, like nobody could fucking meet them. But that was the plan. Like that was the plan, like to take everyone's fucking guns away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
that sucks.
The knife thing, because they're really useful tools.
Yeah, like I've got a little one I use for fishing and everything as well. But like again, even if I'm fishing and I get caught with that knife, it's down to the officer's discretion.
So I was going to ask about that. Like, are officers like, well, this guy's clearly fishing. It's a fillet knife.
So some will be complete dicks. There are a lot of our police officers are like, everyone talks about like police officers on power trips in America. Ours are so much worse, and it's a lot to do with the.
It's a lot worse.
What is worse about
them? Police officers in Scotland tend to be Protestants, which is us going back into that whole thing again.
Yeah,
and if you've got an Irish last name, then you might be in a little bit of trouble.
Really? So they find somebody they find an O'Malley, in the middle of the lake. He's more likely to get in trouble than Smith.
They deny that shit happens. They deny it happens, but it fucking happens. It happens.
Huh. Well, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like not being able to have knives is so fucking foreign and bizarre. Because like when you think about a knife, like what list, where in the list when you just think knife, Woody, do you think stabbing someone? It's so low. You think like, when I think it's like, I keep a knife that would be illegal where Dank is right near my front door, and its only purpose is boxes. Purpose is boxes.
Oh my God. Right now, I hardly leave bed because my leg's broken. But normally, I use my knife every day, and it's almost all on Amazon boxes.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's removing such a utility. Like what?
Yeah,
Sometimes you need a knife.
The concept of
He's
a
allowed them at
sharpened
home.
edge being illegal. I know, but the concept of a sharpened edge being illegal is so weird. It's like outlawing subtraction. Like what?
Yeah.
No, this is cavemen figured this shit out.
I don't
Look,
know what the
how
law,
you,
I don't know what the laws are there, but I'm guessing that it's illegal for him to have a knife that he doesn't need for work outside his home, right?
Well, you missed what Dank said in that, like, it's up to the cop's discretion. So if you have a
As it should
multi-tool
be.
that you use to pull the hook out of a fish's mouth, if that cop doesn't like you, he can arrest you while you're
You
fishing.
shouldn't
for
have
them.
that. That can kill people because then what'll happen is there'll be the fucking all of a sudden there'll be a gang called the Leathermen, and all they'll do is fucking look. If you want to kill somebody with a Leatherman, man, you'll absolutely make it happen. A Leatherman is a sturdier knife than that green piece of shit there.
But
Yeah.
what he was saying was that if you go fishing and you have, you know what a fishing knife looks like, probably
Oh,
the
yeah.
audience does too. It's a
Mhm.
special fillet thing, and it's clearly a purpose-built fishing knife. It's up to the officer's discretion. If you're in a rowboat in this situation, the officer might be like, "No, I don't think you should have that knife." It's like clearly this knife has utility for what I'm up to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure there's gonna be
what a-
repercussion for you in the legal system down the road, though, right? You'll get to court, and the judge will be like, well, was he on a fishing boat? Yeah. Did he have fish? Yeah. Was he cleaning the fish with a knife? Yeah. I think it's a fishing knife, officer.
Yeah, but the thing is, you still get arrested and you still get fucking your knife confiscated and you still have to go to court and all that stuff. And that shit just shouldn't happen. in the
Cost you
first
money.
place.
Yeah.
It does,
Yeah.
though. I mean, I got arrested for like carrying that pistol that time. They're like, your permit doesn't work, and it's like, you say so. I mean, you do have handcuffs.
And you have a gun also.
And did you have a concealed carry?
Oh yeah, I was 1,000% legal. Yeah,
I didn't know if you were open carrying or something.
I was open carrying, but it doesn't matter in Georgia. Like I have a permit to carry a handgun.
Yeah, in North
And-
Carolina, you don't need a permit to open carry unless it's changed. It could be out of date. Concealed, yes, but open, no.
Mhm. Yeah, there wasn't a distinction here at the time. Like
Hmm.
I even made that point. I was like, open carrying is the more kind way to carry. like as far as law is concerned, I'm like, I
Hmm.
got it out here for all to see. I'm
Mhm.
not hiding a damn thing because I don't think there's anything wrong with what I'm doing. That's what I'm implying by my actions here.
Sure.
I walked into a Walmart wearing a Ruger, sir. If I was up to no good, I wouldn't have been playing fucking Spyro
Yeah.
in the video game section with my cousin. All right,
And
I'd
you wouldn't have
been-
picked a Georgia Walmart because you're not the only guy there with a Ruger.
We're in Hartwell, Georgia. Okay, like my odds of getting out of here are slim.
Yeah. If I start shooting, I'm not making it past, home.
The good old boys in the parking lot are gonna slay me, dude. You go to a southern Walmart parking lot at 11 p.m. at night. There's a crowd of guys out there who will gun you down. It'll be a firing squad.
Yeah.
They're all in their jacked up trucks with chew in their mouth, trying to fuck some hillbilly.
Yeah.
And they all
It's
got
part of their
guns.
culture and to be respected.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really
I'm gonna
think
get
about how everyone else had one, but yeah. And in North Carolina, every so often I see someone open carry, but somehow they're able to vibe. I do this all the time.
Mhm.
Like
Especially the old guys.
yeah, even I saw young ones open carrying recently, and they had this like, if you have a problem, this is really a you problem. I do this every day vibe about them, and they were like 24, and I was like, okay, I don't know. It wasn't alarming because they didn't seem to give a fuck.
No, I don't mind it at all. And people try to make that a racial issue sometimes. They're like, oh, they're all about gun rights until we want one. And I'm like, I love seeing black people with guns. We want as many, as an ex-gun owner, we want as many black gun owners as we can get. We'd love for you to be part of the fun that is gun ownership. Like they're for defending your rights, and y'all get your rights trampled on more than anybody.
You shouldn't be able
might
to
as well
vote
have
unless
one.
you own guns.
They've got it. You're close. You're close. I have something similar where I can't vote or own guns. So you move those pieces around.
Yeah, he was. He was hardcore.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan. He would lift his ass, and you can ride traditional or you can ride like a woman. He would switch. He popularized the sitting on a horse like a woman so he could shit on the go. He said, "We must do as the horses do, for they are the key to our people's success."
Right. He
because
said
horses
that.
shit on the run. This is all you need to look it up, people. These are facts, and this remains to be true.
Can we bring up that podcast, the JRE, the Joe Rogan?
I started listening to that a couple hours ago. I'm not even halfway through it yet, and I just I was cleaning dishes and doing some things, and I started writing down stuff from the podcast that I thought was funny or interesting. And just over the course of like 90 minutes, I've got pages of funny things I heard. It is. We may as well just quit PKA. Everybody else podcasting, you can stop because we've hit the peak. That's the funniest, so far, the funniest podcast I've ever heard.
I hated it.
Oh, it's
I thought
so
that
entertaining.
podcast was shit. I powered through it like against my will because I felt like I needed to be up to date on it. And one good thing that I get from it, I got it the last time Alex Jones was on, and this time people fuss at me for interrupting too much. And sometimes that criticism is really valid. Sometimes it's almost a meme. And I see them interrupt each other, and it's a reminder, Woody, don't do this to your show because it's ruining it for me. You know, and Alex Jones can't get his thought out, and he and Eddie Bravo interrupting each other constantly. Joe Rogan, who usually has a good thought in his head, can't get it out. And you know, he's got the solution to this argument, tries to explain to him that he's just joking with him, and that it takes like a minute and a half for that to come through.
The way I see it is almost like he's like Joe knows how entertaining Jones is. Like he's a huge draw. Like look at all the views in his podcast recently. I don't listen to that many. I'm listening to this one because it's Alex Jones and he's hilarious. Like I feel like Rogan is playing him like a lute, where he's like, "Oh, I'll say this, and that'll get Jones going on another funny rant. Oh, I'll ask a question this way, and I'll get him going on another funny tangent. Or whoa, you just said something about aliens stealing baby parts. Come back to that, please." Like he was just, I feel like, trying to kind of hem Alex Jones in enough to get him because like it seems like Alex Jones is 1 billion miles wide and 4 inches deep. He's got like all this stuff, and so Joe's trying to desperately wrangle this madman in. It is so fucking funny.
All I saw was again and again and again Alex Jones unable to tell us any kind of story in a straight line, unable to make any kind of point, randomly scattershotting all kinds of weird conspiracy theories about Asians being robots and other weird things, backing it up with things like my father had a nuclear power plant under his university, and it just goes left and right and never makes any sense. And Joe would be like, whoa, let's get back to that one. Let's deep dive into it.
Though. It's what Taylor just said. He's 1 billion miles wide and 4 inches deep. Like he's got no answers because Joe would stop and be like, whoa, where does it say that? You just said that this is in literature, that this has been written down by people. Show me those books. I need.
Well, I'm frankly, I'm not going to get into that right now. But something else to mention is that they are already making half pig, half people hybrids in China. They've been doing this. Look at 1986. New York Times put it out as a feeler to see if people will be okay with this kind of thing for growing these goddamn livers for these drug abusing political types. They put that out there. People hated it. They got rid of it. Look it up. MIT's paper. Jamie, you pull that up. MIT's paper. And then like every once in a while, they'll say something like he pulled up the MIT thing. I was like washing a dish. Like, Alex, are you fucking insane? The Chinese are not breeding half people, half pigs to try and harvest their organs. And then like, of course, that's not exactly true, but there is shit going on that MIT talked about that was like akin to that. And it's like,
that's what he does though.
Shit.
He takes a little bit of truth, like, and he warps it into this incredible conspiracy. Like they made like as soon when electricity and film, when electricity and film was becoming like a thing, when it was just burgeoning, they'd make these machines that you could stick your head in and you could see like a little video and stuff. And he's like, that's virtual reality. You see, that's alien technology that they gave us back then. That was virtual reality technology given to us by the aliens, handed down to the Vril Society, which was the Nazis. They gave baby blood to the aliens in exchange for their technology. They sold their souls, which you've got to keep in mind, though. And on this rant, what you got to keep in mind, though, is they will only give you evil. Okay, there's two sides out. Right? They look like elves and they have horns. They are what we would think of as demons. And if you commune with them, if you allow them in, okay, they will only bring evil. Now, God and the angels, they're a whole different thing, but you have to ask them to come in, okay? And they will not involve themselves in your life unless you ask them to get it to come in. What we've got to keep in mind is the Chinese society, they're basically robots, okay? They're built to be a and you're like, whoa, slow the fuck down.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Go
just at
back
that part
to
Kyle
now.
did better than
baby blood
Alex
for
Jones.
aliens.
Alex Jones would have had 4 topics in that length of time, all of them ridiculous and insane. And Kyle only had 2. And the late-term abortion was a really good example. So they listened to this clip of the Virginia governor talking about like super late-term abortions. And he's like, there are some kids that are born and they're not viable. They're not compatible with life. So what we do is we take them out. We keep them comfortable until they die. Like that's how that goes. And that is an awful situation, right? Kids with their hearts born on the outside with their, holes in their skulls and brains exposed and whatever. Kids get born that way and they keep them comfortable until they die. Well, they just completely skip over the non-viable part of this. And they're like, they are taking these children, making them comfortable and killing them as if women want abortions after 9 months. Like that's a thing that's going on. And Joe was just like, his mind was blown away that it was happening. He's like, Joe, did you miss the part where he described the context? He did. And then again, like I watched this and I'm trying to learn to make our show better. I'm like, this must be how frustrated our viewers are when we get our facts wrong. Because that's where I was.
I thought it was entertaining. Like,
I really
like he'll talk about
it.
like he said a couple. You hated it, Kyle. You didn't think it was funny.
no,
you
I
heard me.
love
You heard
Woody.
me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I like the part where like he'll say stuff that like is pretty agreed upon. Where he's like, and of all the people in the world, the Chinese and the Germans are the most methodical, the most organized, and the most likely to get those kind of projects done. That's understood. It's known, and that is why the aliens came down targeting those 2 groups of people and provided them with what they needed. You can see it in early 1930s with the Germans and the Nazis. They received that technology. You can see it now currently with AI and China. And it's like, but I think I stop agreeing there on the Germans and Chinese seem the most organized. Like, like you get like that does seem. Like they do seem really organized, those groups of people. So most people will be like, okay. And then he goes, so that's why the aliens chose them for this. And it's like, this is like, I can't tell where his act ends to where he begins. Like, I don't know. Like so much of the stuff he's saying is obviously over the top showmanship. Like fucking obviously. Like he said, he's like, and you wouldn't believe I've had a very exciting life. It was in this area of Austin, this really rich area where all these people live, kind of these elites, these globalists. And I was there. I was 12 years old, and this beautiful woman, 17, she invited me into her home, and she said, I will have sex with you if you allow me to put you in full makeup. And so I let her. I let her put me in full makeup, and we had sex. It was great. And as I came back down, her father stopped me and said, that was pretty good, wasn't it? You worship Lucifer with me, and you can have that every day. And I said, hell no, and I got out of there. It was like at no point did you go into a rich girl's house in a globalist commune in Austin, Texas, and then fuck a 17-year-old whose father then promised her pussy to you if you would but join their Lucifer cult. Like
no, that
but
did
it
not
does feel
happen.
like
where
I'm
does that
missing
tie
out now
in?
that you said that.
Look, if
Because
that were
then
a
he'll
thing,
say other shit that I would mock openly.
These are the
where
kind
it's
of
like,
places
about it.
Filthy visited for his master's degree.
That's
It's all
true.
I
true.
You went
wish
to all-
I had visited places like that.
Filthy's been to all the Eyes Wide Shut parties.
oh,
Like all those cool like
So
fucking
many
goat heads and
masks.
stuff. Yeah. Oh, and then
So that
was
was a
saying,
show,
like,
but I thought he really
yeah.
was crazy and off the rails by quite a bit. I'm watching it and I feel like if he was more like in charge of his own capabilities, am I saying this right? That he would be able to stay on a topic and flow a little better. Instead, he's just sort of scatterbraining this stuff. And it's not,
he's all over the place.
he's all
not
over the
good.
place.
It's
He
not
jumps from,
good.
and that's the method to his madness, right? If he were to, like if I'm explaining something to you, I'm gonna say, well, it was like this. These people came up with this idea, and on this date, this happened, and I can show you. Here are the pictures of it, okay? And here's where some authors wrote about it who were there. Like you're like, okay, foundation formed, okay, all factual. What you've got there, everything built on this will be real. What he does is he's just like, oh, and then it was aliens, and it was demons, and it was interdimensional aliens, actually. And you got to keep in mind Hillary Clinton, and everybody thinks I hate Donald Trump. I don't hate him, but I don't want to be his defender. And you're just, God, you threw 8 things at me that
There's a term for that. It's not gobbledygook. Does anyone
Gish
know?
gallop.
Gish gallop. I think is that Gish
Never heard
gallop?
that.
Yeah, but I don't think he's doing it as like an argument. It seems like he's just ranting.
Well, when you change topics enough and throw enough people at,
Oh,
and
yeah,
throw
that's
enough
true.
stuff at people, then it becomes hard to debunk them one by one, right? Like Filthy has a term for it. I think where it's like 10 times harder to disprove something than to just say a lie. And he does that nonstop. A lie, a lie, a lie, a lie. Like this Gish gallop of lies. And as you follow it, like you don't know what's true and what's not true. Because every so often one of these things are not a lie. Or he has some sort of evidence for it.
And then oftentimes the thing that's not a lie will like he'll say it and I'll be like bullshit, total nonsense. And then he'll actually be like, actually, Jamie, pull up. In the 80s, they tried to use cell towers to influence people's behavior and make them more complacent. And I'm like, yeah, I bet, Alex, I bet. And then like something like that ends up being true.
There was
and
one
then
about
that makes you think,
Soros
oh
being
shit,
a currency
he said 10
manipulator.
crazy things before this. If this one isn't a total lie, what wasn't a total lie in there? But by that point, he said 5 more things, and you're onto the races.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's so fucking entertaining.
There's a little bit of truth in almost everything he says, and by truth, I mean
He didn't
All right,
make
so-
it up
so-
himself.
he didn't make. Well, no, I mean there's a little bit of truth, like the Vril Society, right? The Nazi, demon society where they were trying to, they were based in the occult. That's a real documented thing. That's
I
real.
didn't know that.
Now, there's been lots of fiction based around that, right? That's what Hellboy is. Hellboy's based around that. You can't say that Hellboy is real because there actually was a Vril society. Hellboy is an act of fiction, just like most of what Alex Jones says about the Vril society, right? Using baby blood in exchange for alien technology. Why would the aliens need to pay us for the baby blood if they have this technology? Baby blood's easy to get, right? We've all got a vial.
How I stay young.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Rub
was
it,
I drink it.
bathe in it
I'm trying to think of.
sometimes.
I'm trying to remember the other really ridiculous things he was saying. He was talking about how Joe. Yeah, you know how Joe like denounced him in like a soft way,
Mhm.
like, and then they kind of I guess made up. Like they were talking about, I think, Alex and Joe talking like, oh, and this is what he said. Alex goes, now if they had held a gun to my head and said, you need to kill Joe and his kids, I would say, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then I would turn around, grab the gun and kill them. And then he just kept going because like in his own hypothetical where he's like, they were holding the gun to your head, Joe, and then you betrayed me. It's like, well, what would I have done? What would I have done? I would have agreed with them, said I would have killed your kids, but I'm too quick. I would have turned around, grabbed it, and killed them. That's what I've done for you, Joe Rogan. Like,
there were a couple parts where he wanted to get physical with Eddie Bravo, and that I really enjoyed. I
think you could beat up Eddie Bravo.
I don't think so.
There's a big size.
Eddie Bravo
disparity.
is a professional.
Yeah,
He is a professional, but I get that jiu-jitsu really gives you another maybe 40% body weight in a fight. But I just feel like Alex is big and strong. I don't know how big Eddie is. Maybe I'm being stupid. Maybe Eddie's 180 pounds, but Eddie looks 150.
He looks
pounds
below
or
average
something.
in size. I don't know.
He looks like a short, thin guy, and I'm aware of it, that he's an incredibly high-level jits guy. Then he trains professionals. That he's world class. But Alex is like a big ogre of a man.
Alex isn't very tall either.
He's
he looks like
5'9", Eddie Bravo, and
Okay.
165, according to his Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's a little guy. That's
He's
a little
probably
guy.
not 165. I'm just sticking that in my own head because I bet he cuts to it.
I was watching I really enjoyed, by the way, I saw a couple more though. The AR guy versus AK guy. It's like watching.
Sorry to hear that.
It's like getting really into a subreddit on a niche hobby that you don't get yet. And like after you get to like page 3, you're like, I get the jokes. Like,
Right.
like I get what's happening. Like I watched the first episode and I'm like, okay, I get it. So like AR guys wear scarves and like talk about stats, and AK guys are like, let's go shoot things for cheap and have fun. And like, this was just total impulse purchase, like thought. I just started looking right after watching that video. I'm like, what kind of AK could I buy if I really want an AK? And so I wanted to ask you, I don't have an AK. If
I
I
can
wanted
fix
to
that.
buy one, what kind? Where do I look? Treat it like I don't know a thing.
So American stuff is usually pretty shit. Like not American built stuff, but like American fully made here. They cut a lot of corners. They do a lot of casting, a lot of just really dog shit manufacturing because they're like, oh, it's cheap Russian shit, whatever.
Mm.
The Russians and the Soviets took that shit very seriously. Like they have very high end like forgings and it's very strong metal and everything. And not getting too technical, like a lot of the overseas stuff, like Arsenal, very good brand, Arsenal Bulgaria, Saigas, all the Russian shit's really, really good. Then you get American shit, which is like, oh, it'll detonate after 2,000 rounds if you're using hot ammo. It's like, yeah, that's not awesome.
That's been. I bought an American AK. I didn't know any better.
Oh,
and, dude, I was like, ooh, it's an AK, but it's American. So
twice as good.
Yeah, I'm like double good. No, it's more like multiplying to negatives or something. I don't know. I think I fucked that. Let's say it's not like that at all.
I don't know. I would
opposite of multiplying two negatives.
Great students, so you're out of my take.
Maybe the Americans are positive. Dude.
Like
I don't know.
One negative.
But in any case, it sucks. It jammed all the time. I think I asked Kyle to look at it. He didn't have a solution. I'm not sure about that. I definitely took it to a gun store and was like, "Hey, this is like, do you want it as a trade-in? I hate this gun." And they're like, "No,
You're an excellent salesman."
Yeah, well, I didn't. Yeah, good point. So anyway, my gun sucks. They suggested removing some piece of rubber to make it maybe better.
Oh no, you have an IO.
I do. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, honey.
Is that a really tough one to have?
Awful. I've actually toured their facility and they threatened to sue me after the video I made.
Really?
One of my earliest videos on YouTube. It's just awful.
Is there any way to make it not misfire?
You can send it to me. I can completely demill it and replace all of the parts and rebuild it, and then it might work correctly.
So he'll make you a new gun and send that new gun back.
We could probably save like the furniture and the trigger.
I don't like the furniture.
Well, we could definitely save the trigger group and the screw.
Kyle gave me better furniture, and I decided that the AK wasn't worthy of the furniture. The furniture is like the wooden part for anyone who doesn't know guns. And I was like, man, I really like this. It's almost reddish purple, or I don't know, really appealed to my sense of style. I thought it was cool. But I'm like, this gun is not worthy of this outfit. You can't have it.
Yeah, I never got too much into AKs. Whenever we would buy AKs, it was always to convert them to full auto. So I just buy the cheapest Wasser 10 I could find and make a machine gun out of it. I never had those Wasser 10s would just go and go and go. I never had any issues with them.
You guys have me hoping for a Biden gun buyback program. Right?
You have to explain that one a little bit.
He's not going to say,
I can't find an idiot to buy my gun, but maybe Joe Biden's that man, right? Maybe he'll buy my AK from me. Nobody else will.
I don't think he's going to go, we were doing a buyback and it's only for a shitty American AK.
It's an AK. You'd think they'd pay top dollar for that. It's got A right in the name.
Yeah, just wait for a local buyback. Wait till Chapel Hill's doing some sort of crazy, get these dangerous guns off the street. You're like, absolutely, $200 Best Buy gift card. Here you go.
Can you negotiate at a buyback?
I don't.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's how you negotiate at a buyback. You put up a picnic table right in front of the buyback and outbid them. Keep those guns on the street.
Doing a 501c3 and actually doing a gun safety whatever thing, and just putting up booths in front of buybacks. Like, what do you have there? Oh, World War II K98. Your grandfather had the. All right, well, they're giving you $100, 140.
Yes. That's the way to go. I would love to do that.
We even put up the paperwork. Our mission statement was to take guns out of the hands of people who didn't want them or didn't feel safe with them and put them into the hands of private collectors.
That sounds pretty friendly.
Yeah, I want to rephrase that to something that sounds worse.
That's the strategy I use, where I wait until Girl Scout cookies come to my neighborhood, and I'm faster than those little kids, so I run ahead of them with my own assortment of better store-bought cookies. I sell them. And
Wouldn't you rather have some double stuff Oreos, ma'am?
Get out of the way, Samantha. I'm getting the fucking cookie badge.
You can prove your theory that Girl Scout cookies suck and that they can't compete in the open market.
They're so fucking good. Those Samoas are a top tier fucking cookie.
Okay, but there are versions of Samoa that you can buy in the cookie aisle that are better than the Girl Scout cookies.
I've never found a Thin Mint alternative that's better than Thin Mints.
I mean, the free market realized that there's not enough incentive to even make Thin Mints without girls guilting you. There's no way to make it.
Nick, we were talking before the show about talking to police. And
don't do it, but yes.
Oh, that's every expert I've ever seen on YouTube or talked to in person gives that same advice. Say nothing. If they're colorful, they'll say shut the fuck up, right? That's the advice we always get.
Right. Shut the fuck up Fridays from the Justice Brothers.
I know them. Yes, yeah. All right. But on the other hand, we've all had experiences where, you know, the cop pulls you over speeding and you're like, yes, I spilled the milk. I'm so sorry. I don't typically spill milk. I'm not a habitual milk spiller. This one exception. I made a mistake. And, you know, if you could see fit to let me off with a warning, I'm the sort of guy who deserves it. This isn't me. This is what I think police want to hear when they pull you over. I made a mistake. This isn't who I am. Can we let it slide? If you just say, I don't talk about my day, I don't like police, I don't answer questions, you're probably going to go to court. You're not going to talk your way out of it.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the feel you get from the cop. I've run the gamut of cop interactions. When I was driving home from law school one day, because I went to school at night, and I was driving home, and it was 2 hours away. So I was getting home. It's like 1 a.m. And I was so close to my house, and the speed dropped from 65 to 55, and I just wasn't paying attention. I was dead tired, and I was probably going like 70 or something. And the guy pulls me over, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I just got out of law school. I'm tired. I'm sorry. Right. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. You know, I know you just missed the signs. Like, I'm like barely alive. Just my house is a mile and a half from here. Can I just please go home?
To be honest, officer, this is akin to drunk driving. I'm so tired.
It's like, he's like, yeah, just get out of here. I just want to make sure people are staying safe. And that was fine. Like, and you could kind of tell from his demeanor that it was okay. You know, but so people kind of take this advice, don't talk to the cops, really, really literally. And you should. I mean, if you really want to protect yourself from a ticket, not talking to the cops is the best way to protect yourself. But what you're talking about isn't protecting yourself, right? What you're talking about is basically being candid and just asking for a little bit of mercy. And that's a way to do it. But on the other hand, I got pulled over by a really pissed off cop, and I was definitely speeding. The problem was I thought I was on a different road because I kind of spaced out. Did that thing where like you get into hypnosis, and I thought I had already exited onto the faster highway. And so I was just driving like I was on the other. So I was speeding like 10 miles over the other limit. And so I'm like 15 over this one. Cop pulls me over. He goes, you know, I pulled you over. I was like, no. He says, do you know what the speed you were going? No. You know what the speed limit is? Nope. Do you know where you are? Not at all. And then he gave me a warning. He's like, okay, because he couldn't actually tag my words to pin me down to a ticket. And this guy was pissed, right? Like he came up to the car. He was hot. He was angry. He's like kind of huffy. And I was like, well, I guess I just got to say no to literally everything he says. Because otherwise what you get is you get an admission. Yeah, I know. I thought it was only 5 over or whatever. You're still speeding. That's still an admission of guilt. And once they can write that down, that statement from you, they've got you in court. Like you're not going to go into court and win. But if they have to go in and prove it, you know, maybe what you do is you go in there and you ask the calibrations, the calibration record of the machine. You check the weather. Was it really cold? Could that interfere with the radar gun? You start asking for all this stuff, and it becomes really expensive for the cops to get $130 out of you. And they don't fight as much. So like for actual legal protection, saying for my advice on getting pulled over is just say no to anything. It's not illegal to not know how fast you're going. It's not illegal to not know what the speed limit is. And it's not illegal to not know what road you're on. So you can safely say no to all those things. Your results may vary. But
I feel like I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, here's your ticket. Fuck.
When I got arrested, it was a long time before they asked me a question that I didn't feel comfortable, like at least replying to. Because for a long time, like there was no sort of like, oh, do you think maybe this happened and that happened? We weren't talking about what was happening. I was like, can I get a smoke? First of all, I knew the cop, one of them. And I was like, Jimmy, can I get a smoke? It's like, yeah, come on, let's get in my car. Like, they're not handcuffing me yet. I hung out in his car for half an hour while they got their warrant and smoked. But it was like an hour and a half later, but when we were sitting at a desk somewhere, I was like, I think that's where I stop answering questions and start, sending it to my lawyer. Y'all gonna need to
Exactly.
talk to him because I don't know anything about any of that.
Well,
How do
that's the move, right? Police are very, very good interviewers. They do it all the time. So they get very, very conversational with people. They get to know them. They're like, hey, we're just trying to help you out. What's your name? What's going on, man? And they encounter people who are usually in a rough spot in their life. Lots of people, depending on the type of crime that they're encountering, but lots of people are encountering crime because they're in a bad place. And so the cops get really good at sort of that diffusion, build rapport really quick, like a salesman, and kind of get conversational. It also helps them get those answers that they're looking for. So that's one thing to remember, is that they're very good at this, and you typically are not very good at answering that type of stuff, because you might only get arrested one time in your life if or for a lot of people it's never. Some people get really good at it, right? You live in the right hood.
But they've got a script. Like they've done it. They do it every day.
Cops and like officers of various federal agencies have always been some of the more friendly and personable people that I've met. And it's like, man, under different circumstances, I'd really like you, dude. Like that. I almost always walked away from like my dealings with cops, at least good cops, and with thinking like, seems like such a nice guy. I wish we weren't on the opposite ends of this one. I wish I knew something about
in another
those
world.
bugs.
We could have been friends.
For real. Yeah.
It serves their purposes really well too, because, if they're approaching someone who's in distress, they have a weapon, maybe they don't know what this person's up to, right? They don't know what they're capable of. They're coming into a situation. It's much better most of the time to lead with some kindness and be approachable rather than come in, full force jackboot. Otherwise, they might get shot or stabbed. The person might have some murder suicide intention. You never know what that person's up to. But if they can calmly approach them safely, like don't see a weapon or whatever, that's a beneficial way to do things and to keep the situation cool before whatever happens next. And they may have plans to arrest that guy in the most rough way possible. But it's always good to start off like, hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
What's going on with what are you doing with both of those guns? Is one not enough?
I have a legal question, because this keeps. It's not a good one, but anyway, here's the deal. The police finally.
Everybody listen. He's got a question.
Yeah. So the police finally found out about all my murders, right? And here I am being questioned, and I say, you know what? No more questions. Talk to my attorney. But low key, I don't have an attorney, and I don't know how to choose one. I'm in the room. I have maybe one phone call. What do I do? Google Maps? Like what?
No, they'll bring you a phone book,
and then you just use that to choose your attorney.
Find one.
We just got to get out of the room, right? Like you just need a guy that gets
you just
bail,
turn
right?
to the names and hope for the best.
Just don't go to the first one, because that guy's just there because his name starts with A.
Yeah,
he probably changed it to that.
I got fucked. I went with Aaron Aronson again.
But no, it's I mean, if you can't get an attorney, they have to stop asking you questions, and you can petition for a court-appointed attorney at that point too. Say, hey, I don't have an attorney. I need an attorney for this. I don't have an attorney. You're under arrest. They can't just keep you without providing that. If you qualify, you can't just lie. Like, well, I got $100,000 in the bank. I can't afford an attorney though. They're like, okay, well, here's one. No, but if you go through the same process that you would get for a public defender, and they'll get an attorney for you if you need to. But otherwise, they'll bring you a phone book and say, here you go. Call whoever you want out of this thing. But
that's what they do.
The other thing, cops, when you invoke your right to remain silent or your right to an attorney, they have to stop interrogating you. But the trick is, not everything they do is an interrogation, right? They can start talking. And the most common thing they'll do is talk to their friend next to you about whatever, to try and coax you into saying something about, like, to correcting them. No, that's not what happened. And then the interrogation can continue because now you've injected yourself into the conversation. So that's the hardest thing for people to say. I'm shutting up. I want to talk to my attorney, nothing else. and then they just don't. Like they sit there and they're like, no, I mean, he had it coming. but yeah. But they have to give you the opportunity to get an attorney. You don't have to have an attorney, although you should. Like if you're a gun owner, for example, you should have an attorney that deals with those types of things, that you can call if you get arrested for something, especially like a self-defense shooting or something like that, or your gun gets confiscated. You're at a bar, you're involved in a bar fight, and they're like, oh, you can't have this at the bar. Whatever it is, you should have an attorney who's familiar with those issues as a gun owner, because it will help you rather than calling up the guy in the phone book, right? Like, you don't want that guy. You want the guy who knows what he's doing.
And it won't cost you a ton to just go to a guy's law office and get his card. You don't have to have a gun retainer. You just have to figure out who the guy is and have his business card in your wallet.
It seems like bullshit that public defenders aren't available for wealthy people. Like, firemen are available for wealthy people. They don't say, you know what, you could afford a fireman, therefore we're going to charge you. They don't say that about police. They don't have toll roads that ask for your 1040s and say only wealthy people have to pay these tolls. There are very few government services where they restrict them from you, where they say you can't have this because you could buy it privately.
Public defenders are the equivalent of welfare. It's like you can't get anyone here to speak for you?
That's a strong point. It's bullshit that welfare is not available to wealthy people.
I want some. I heard Chicago's got that $500 universal income comment, and it's like right off the top, huh?
500 smackers.
500 smackers
every
year, I hope.
That'll get my heroin addiction going. It's fine.
500 a month. Like that'll buy all my drugs.
And he was telling me like sometimes like he'll have the attacks and he'll have to pull over on the side of the road and call an ambulance because it's that debilitating to where you feel like there's nothing. I can't take this shit. Like whatever this is, like I need help. And it's just and no matter how much you try to convince yourself it's a panic attack, it doesn't matter. Like it's just your brain tells you like this ain't
a panic attack, and so of course you're not going to be able to like talk yourself through it.
Yeah, I mean, some of them you can. Honestly, some of them you can be like, it's gonna pass. It's gonna pass. And you have to, like, continue to tell yourself it's gonna pass. But then sometimes it's like, nah, bro, this one's not gonna pass. We're gonna die right here.
I usually go. I have them pretty regularly, probably twice a year, which is pretty regular for something that makes me go unconscious and collapse on the floor. It feels like it is anyway. But it's in real stressful situations. Like I would never just randomly have one. It's always been like just some real heavy shits going on, and I would have one. I had one when I got arrested, for the marijuana thing. I had one then, blacked out during that. But sometimes I can stay awake, especially if I can get some cold water and throw it in my face. That always helps. Like if I can throw cold water in my face, that'll kind of snap me right out of it. But I've definitely like completely blacked out and fallen on concrete before, and like it's not like when you trip and fall and you get your hands out or you can fall in a certain way. I just like felt like a tree getting chopped down. So I like wake up and my elbows are all scraped the fuck up, and I'm like, yeah, it's bad.
Do people understand it or lack empathy? Or like I felt like I'm saying is I think 3 years ago I didn't understand it. Like I didn't.
Yeah,
I felt like
I did.
I felt like it was a fear response when it's almost something different than that.
Yeah, it's your brain not handling fight flight correctly, and just triggering just a huge adrenaline dump, and then your body reacting to that. Yep. So it's often it'll be like an argument. Like I've gotten into arguments with people, and it happened, and not even with a man. Like I've got in an argument with like a woman before, and just get so fucking like stressed out and fucking worked up that the next thing I know, it's like if you stand up too quickly and you kind of get like a brownout, everything starts closing in, extremities going literally numb, like you've been laying on your hands and feet, and just got to start hyperventilating, have to sit down. And if I don't get cold water in my face, I'm going out.
So that's like the trigger. Does the trigger sit on top of something like a baseline life troubleness? Like I've had times in my life where I was wealthy and times in my life where I was really pretty poor. There's some stress in not having any money, or feeling like your net worth is lower than it was a few years ago. Like that's a problem. Like, is that the kind of anxiety that takes you 80% of the way there? Then you're liable to be triggered?
Not for me. not for me. It may be for some people, but for me, it's huge moments. It's like dealing with fucking law enforcement and getting arrested. That was a big one.
Are they all interpersonal conflicts where it happens? Like with another person, something happened you really hate. Not like, oh my god, am I going to pay the whatever?
Oh yeah, it's never like oh no, the cable bill's big. It's like one time like
I didn't know they were charging me by the show.
What the fuck, Hulu? I bundled. I swear I bundled. Like I remember I had one in high school where like just got in a shouting match with a guy who was definitely going to beat the shit out of me if he wanted to. But I didn't want to be a bitch, so I was just screaming at him like, "Well, do it," and like. Whole time I'm melting down on the inside, like literally I'm feeling the panic attack coming, and I'm like, if he don't knock me out, I'm gonna knock myself out. There's like a timer ticking down in my brain. I'm like, I got about 40 seconds of consciousness here, and he actually walked away. I'm sure not because he was afraid of me, just because he didn't want to like get in any more trouble.
Did you just see he's standing there sweating bullets going white?
He probably thought I was very ill. And he didn't catch anything. But I just went to the bathroom and like flipped the toilet seat down and like sat on it and just cold sweat, just like barely conscious in the bathroom for like 10 minutes trying to pull myself back together from that one. But there's been a few where I just went completely unconscious, hit the fucking ground. Those like when I feel it coming now, I'm smart enough to like find a couch.
Do you always see it coming?
I've definitely thought in the past that like I've had a panic attack with like I have like a moment of like intense worry and anxiety and then I heard about like Kyle and Arian and people who really get them, and it's like, oh no, like I've never thought I was going to pass out. Like I'll just like maybe start like breathing faster and really be worried. But yeah,
but I mean it's part of them. Like, and that's what I learned is like it's a spectrum. So it's like
it is,
and so you got to kind of find where you're at and deal with those. And so like mine have never been like big moments like Kyle. Like mine is never like big moments don't bother me. And I mean they bother me, but it's not like. That's not what triggers them. Yeah. My daughter says hi.
Hello.
Mine are more so. I mean, I still don't know. We're still working through the process of why it's happening. But mine is just like an everyday occurrence where it's like it's mild, and then like I was watching John Wick 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching John Wick 2, and all of a sudden you feel that adrenaline rush. It's like you could feel the chemicals go boom, and all of a sudden heart goes to 120, 130, and you're just sitting there, and then you feel like somebody's pressing on your chest, can't breathe, palms get sweaty. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? You got to try to calm yourself down, and it's just like it's debilitating. It's like it's just
same question.
I had another panic attack. I had another panic attack during pre-sentencing when they're like listing the charges and the potential maximum sentences, because like. What I eventually
I'm not laughing at you, bro, but it's funny.
No, it's funny. Laugh. It's funny.
Kyle's laughed about it many times.
Oh yeah, it's fucking hilarious. I know it is. So like I pled to like possession with intent to distribute, but they were trying to hit me with a bunch of nonsense. Like I had a firearm that had been like Cerakoted, like painted, and it made it a little difficult to read the serial numbers. So they were trying to hit me with this federal charge of destroying serial numbers on firearms, and it's like. I didn't even paint the fucking gun. Like a professional like painter painted this gun. And look, you can read them. You just gotta like, get the light
a little bit.
Squint a little bit. Like scratch it with your fingernail. We can figure this out. I didn't destroy anything. It's right there. But it's a 10-year minimum sentence, federal prison. And so like that plus like some of the other nonsense they were trying to hit me with was gonna add up to like 18 years. So like we're sitting there, well, I'm standing there as they read out all these charges, and I don't understand how the court system works. For all I know, like the deal is off. We're hitting you with all of it. like the judge might even be like, you know what, he looks guilty. Look at him, he's sweating. Guilty, 20 years. You know what, 25, because he just sent a Mexican guy away for 80 years. Like I watched him do it. Jeez. And so they're listing all those fucking charges, and I lean toward my lawyer and whisper, I'm like. I'm going to hit the floor in definitely less than 90 seconds, but probably less than 60. I'm hitting the fucking floor. So figure that one out for me. How about it? That's what you get paid for. And he's like, can we get a chair?
For passing out.
Can we get a chair? He explains my condition. He's like, he's got diagnosed PTSD. He has panic attacks. Can we get this man a chair? And they're like, yeah, get him a fucking chair. They brought me a fucking chair. So now I'm sitting there. Now I look super guilty. Right? They just list the charges and I'm fainting. And yeah, it did not look good.
Oh my God. What a horror. I don't even want to think about putting myself in that position because that would be so scary. Because you're not you're not an attorney. You are just sitting there like 10 years for this, 30 years for this. And in your head, you're like adding up like, I don't know how many years I have left, but it's not this many.
Yeah.
58. Yeah.
At a certain point, I kill myself, right? Like I'm not going away for 20 years. I'm going to kill myself. I just am. I'm not doing 20 years.
And all that for a half ounce of weed, though?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Just so you know,
Aaron,
kids.
I have the same question for you. That like, do
live
you
in
feel
the-
like life's pressure takes you halfway to an anxiety attack? Like, you know, you've got some Steven Jackson judgment headed against you right now, and you're like, fuck, you know, and all it takes is John Wick to push you over the edge.
No, like, and that's the thing. Is I'm an everyday, like, regular, like, happy-go-lucky, nothing bothers me type dude. But I think how I've dealt, like, so if like a woman that I love in my life, if she cries, like my mother or, you know, my ex lady, if she cries, like my first gut reaction is to laugh. Like, and that sounds horrible, but it's over my life and the trauma that I felt. Like that's how I respond to pain. It's just laugh.
Me too.
Laugh at
Yeah,
things.
I laugh.
And so
It's
everything
very inappropriate at times.
It's
That's
super
not unusual. Lots of people.
Yeah. So I had to explain. I had to explain to my ex one time because she started crying. I was like, "Oh man," like that type of shit. And she was like, "And that's so disrespectful." I'm like, "Listen, like it's not you. It's just that's how I compartmentalize what's going on." And I think over the years of me doing that, like pain after pain after pain, that it's just me pushing shit down. And maybe I haven't learned how to deal with the shit that I've actually gone through. Cause like when I was talking to like my psychiatrist, and I'm a lot more open about this type of shit than I used to be in the past. Like in the past, I just avoided this whole conversation.
That's good.
but it's healthy to talk about this shit. So I was talking to my psychiatrist, and I was, you know, as we're talking, like all these memories of like my childhood are popping up that I know about, but I just don't, they're just not there in my everyday life. But like, I've never really like explored them. Like, how did it make me feel? Like that type of shit. And so as we're digging into my childhood, a lot more of that shit is starting to pop up, and maybe that's helping. I know in this last month, I felt a lot better than I have. I still get them, and it's still, the presence is still there, but I think this is just going to be a process.
Yeah.
And
I had court mandated like drug counseling, and so they sent me to a psychiatrist, and she was like, I explained the situation. She's like, "Well, that's bullshit, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm glad you agree." I was like, "I don't have a fucking drug problem. I just like smoking weed. You know, I like doing some. I like doing dabs. You know, like eating fucking brownies, smoking dabs,
dabs
smoking flower. I like rolling artistic joints." You know, it's a hobby for me. I enjoy it.
It's a hobby.
But I haven't smoked in 6 months or whatever it was at the time. I don't have any withdrawals. Like I'm not shaking. I don't have the fucking shakes. Like I want some weed, but I don't.
The pot shivers. You didn't get.
I don't have the pot shivers. All right. And she's like, "Yeah, of course not. Marijuana is only addictive for like 1% of the people on the fucking planet. But you have PTSD. You want to work on that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's do that." And I felt so like just doing talk therapy and doing this form of hypnotism that she was into was super fucking effective. Doing this
dope of her. That's really dope of her.
Yeah, she was great. I think she wanted me to fuck her with her husband there. I think they were into that.
The cuckolding or
what's up, Debbie? If you hadn't been 58, I'd have been down.
You know what would have been funny is if you think it's a cuckold right there. You think it's a cuckold scenario, but it's a threesome scenario. When you
I think one or the other, I couldn't tell, but you know,
MMF, not the same as MFM, but
yeah, don't get that confused, boys and girls.
MMF. You guys told me that. I did not know. That's a good life tip.
I'm out the loop.
Oh, you figured it out.
So male,
whoa, all right, that kind of party.
Hey, tell Arian, or
male, female, male is the threesome you're probably thinking of, Arian. But when the two M's are next to each other, MMF, that's a bi thing.
Male, female.
Yeah.
Male, female means there's going to be male contact and male female contact. So like, you're gonna be blowing him while you fuck her or something like that. Potentially, that the pieces all fit together in
We
lots
need
of
a
different
PSA
ways.
about this. This is confusing.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
have
male,
one
female,
today.
male means the girl is between the two boys. Male, male, female, really anything goes.
And so, like, if you're soliciting things online, this is important.
It's an important search string in porn. Get what you want, all right?
Yeah.
How about like MFFFM? Like a lot
You
of,
need a lot of
lot of
separation in there.
activity going
I've
on.
never,
Yeah,
I've never
there's
heard
human
of that.
centipeding. Let's keep you away.
I mean, I guess my go-to when I search porn is mature, actually. So
You mentioned that last time.
You like
That's
Debbie.
still your jam. Yeah, you
so I'm
like
saying Debbie might have got it, dog. I don't
Debbie
know.
looked like she did Pilates or something. She was put together pretty well.
Nice.
I like all the
I
women
still got her
it.
card.
With it.
I don't know if we ever discussed, and maybe I'm wrong. I've talked about it in my private life, but like the missionary who went to the island of uncontacted peoples and got
I was just
arrowed the
thinking
fuck
of
up.
him.
Interesting story as well. There's the woman who farted very loudly and like the Dollar
Can
General.
we do the mercenary, dude? Have we
Or the
discussed him on the
missionary.
show?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Big
What is
difference.
it? That is different. Yeah, if he was a mercenary, he would have fared better.
he would have fared much better. So I want to say it's a very remote island off the coast of India, I think, because now
Way
they're trying to get
off the coast, though. Like, did
Yeah.
you see it on a map? I'm gonna try
I
and
think it's
find
called
it.
North Sentinel Island.
And these people on this island are like an uncontacted tribe for the most part. And they've been genetically isolated for like 30,000 years or something like that, some absurd amount of time. They're their own people. And this dumbass missionary goes over there and tries to press his religious beliefs on these people. And go figure, they shoot him full of arrows. Apparently got him in the eye. An accurate bunch over there. They
Nice.
arrowed him the fuck up, killed his ass. And now, like, I believe that the U.S. is asking India to go in and recover the body, and the Indians are like, no, we don't. We call that Death Island. No, last time we sent some people over there, we sent them a bit of curry, and they never came back. They were eaten. They were
You know
eaten
what we
by
should
the
do?
island.
We should like airdrop them just modern snacks
Jesus.
because they would love that. Like they'd probably be really happy. Or if they just like, if they saw an Indian guy just like slingshotting them Pringles or something.
You joke? Someone did that. They pull up on a boat to the shallows and they start throwing coconuts at these motherfuckers on the beach. And they're collecting those coconuts like it's fucking They're like, oh, fucking free coconuts. And they're just like they keep like dropping them, when like a kid or
They're
like
so happy with their coconuts.
in the Tom and Jerry cartoons, the mouse would like keep trying to get all of the cheese, and he'd have it like 8 times taller than him, but he keeps dropping it all, and he wants more cheese, but he just every time he gets a new piece of cheese, he drops 2 more, and that's how they are with these coconuts.
That's their culture. Like 50 years from now, like grandkids are gonna be like, Grandpa, tell me about when the coconut man came.
Dude.
Oh, you won't believe it, son. This man came with it was if it was a dozen, it was 1,000. I tell you, even coconut. But I mean like real snacks, like stuff they can't get Reese's Fast Breaks there.
They didn't even. They had like wooden tools for ages, right? That was the best they could do. And then a boat accidentally ran aground on shore, right? And I think they a helicopter came and rescued the people off the boat. They didn't even go on the island because they were like attacking them from the island. And there's a reason for that I'll circle back to. But now they have metal tools. They've been taking slices of metal off of this sunken ship for like 30, 50 years now. And just now they have like wooden or metal arrowheads and stuff like that. It turns out that a long time ago, like in the 1800s, this guy came to their island and treated them like animals. Right, they're like measuring their dick, and they're like measuring their dick to see how long it is, and like looking at their breeding, writing down notes, and treating them like probing them and shit. And ever since then, as soon as a white guy comes to the island, they're like, "Fuck that!" and they just start immediately shooting arrows at him. And this missionary was like, it could be a little dicey, but I'm going to try and bring them the word of God. And they're like, "No way, we are not interested in your fake God." And they killed him. God did not protect him.
Here's
the great
like this,
coconut in the sky protect us.
Here's let me link it to you. But you probably want to like screen this on a different screen, Woody, because even though it's like Nat Geo style nudity, like you can still see some dicks on there. I'm not sure how strict they would be. But so This is just from a Twitter thread of this guy who is like apparently obsessed with this whole thing you were just discussing of that guy going over there in the 1800s. So the first part is just a picture of this dude who's like a fucking foot taller than all these other adults because he got nutrition and wasn't like waiting for the coconut man to show up. But this guy's beginning of explanation is there's a lot of talk about how the missionary killed by the natives of North Sentinel Island. They're probably so aggressive because of this weirdo, Maurice Vidal Portman. So here's a big thread about this creeps and some of facts from my decade-long obsession with the island. The Sentinelese are often described as uncontacted. That's not true. They had a very significant contact in 1880 with Commander Portman. Portman, the black sheep son of some minor noble, was assigned by the English Royal Navy to administer and pacify the Andaman Islands, a job he pursued from 1880 to 1900 with the full measure of his own pervacity.
Pervacity. So he's a pervert. I had
He's
to
a big
process the
pervert.
word. Yeah.
Portman was erotically obsessed with the Andamanese, and he indulged his passion for photography by kidnapping members of various tribes and posing them in mock Greek homoerotic compositions.
Nice.
During his 20 years in a sexualized heart of darkness, Portman measured and cataloged every inch of his prisoners' bodies with an obsessive love on genitals. This is something from the guy's diary. Lending support to Mary Louise Pratt's notion of bodyscape and theocolonial gaze, male genitalia appear to have been a particular point of fascination. Oh, this is not from this. This is analysis of it. Sorry. Appear to be a particular point of fascination for Portman and Molesworth. One man is described as having, quote, atrophied testicles, both being hard but the size of hedge sparrow's eggs. The same individual is also marked by the observation penis small with moderate size prepuce. Another one, penis larger than usual, summarizes a man named Churko. Tlee is described as the chief of Interview Island and a man of considerable authority and intelligence, but also equipped with a bad temper and genitals that are, quote, fully developed but small. See, he's like, he was trolling in 1880. Just imagine being a Neolithic person spending a few weeks in this guy's rotating menagerie. Portman spent most of his time in the greater Andaman Islands, but in 1880 he landed on North Sentinel. The natives fled, and his party ventured inland to find a settlement which had been abandoned in haste. But they located an elderly couple and a few children they were able to abduct. The couple died quickly, likely from ailments to which they had no immunity. The children spent a few weeks with Portman doing God knows what, after which he returned them to the island. Portman returned on a couple occasions, but the Sentinelese hid each time. The story related by the children was certainly passed down among the 100 or so inhabitants of the island, and even today. Portman's fatal kidnapping is just beyond a human lifetime. So when the Indian government attempted contact and anthropologists in the 1960s and 70s, the Sentinelese were understandably hostile to outsiders. In 1981, a cargo ship named the Primrose ran aground on the coral reef surrounding North Sentinel. The crew radioed for assistance and settled in for a long wait. But in the morning, they saw 50 men with bows on the beach building makeshift boats. The crew called for an emergency airlift and were evacuated, and not a moment too soon. Rough waves had thwarted the Sentinelese in their attempts to board, but the weather was clearing. The ship and its cargo were left at the island awaiting discovery by Neolithic eyes. Today you can see the gutted remains of the Primrose on Google Earth. Imagine climbing on board that ship, a completely alien vessel filled with alien things. Imagine seeing simple machines for the first time, a hinge, a latch, a wheel, things that would instantly make sense in a satisfying way. Others would be so incomprehensible to avoid notice. I have never been able to find out what the cargo was on the Primrose in all my years of reading. There are about 100 tons of some sort of consumer product on board, and I'm curious what it was. But even absent the cargo, think about all the things that must have been on that ship. In the 90s, anthropologists returned to the island to make new attempts at contact. They were met with a different attitude. Not friendly, but they were willing to accept gifts. Here's a video of the encounter. You can notice that these pre-Iron Age people now had metal weapons, like the knife carried by this man. They had scavenged metal from the Primrose and cold forged it into tools. This just goes on for a while, so I'm gonna stop there.
Am I the only one who doesn't think that these uncontacted tribes need to be preserved like some sort of fucking Neolithic like world in a bottle or something, like a snow globe of ancient times?
You think that we should catalog their penis sizes?
Look, we should go in there and just
a confident man, but a small dick.
Weird, he got leadership position at 5 inches.
Lots of power, but small.
Much larger than right, but both quite firm.
And I also don't believe that they like walk in there and they see a latch the first time and they're like, "Oh!" Like I don't.
You don't think so?
If I walk on an alien ship and there's something that I've never even conceived of on there, I don't see it and go, of course, this is how you do this. Like I feel like you need some sort of like teaching method to get you off, you know?
That's
like
racist.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, Taylor. Like it's weird because I feel like the kinds of things that I would learn from are no longer simple. We figured out the simplest of simple things, like the screw and the wedge and the wheel and such. But these guys, they didn't have all that worked out. I wonder what
you could totally see something that you hadn't personally worked out, but you could immediately recognize utilitarian nature of it and you'd be like, so that's how that works. Like if you found a wheelbarrow but with no wheels, but when you grab the handles it just started levitating, you'd be like, oh shit, look at this, it's a levitating wheelbarrow. And to them, they see a wheelbarrow and they're like, oh shit, we've just been dragging things around on flattened out logs since time immemorial.
We were told for thousands of years, you will not improve on the laid down log method. Like there's one guy there who crops up every few generations who's like, God, fucking Ubudo over there, thinking he's going to change the world with his latches and his knobs. And get this. He chopped a tree into segments, right? Keep listening. Hilarious, I know. Puts a hole in the middle, a stick through that, rolls it around, calls it a wheel. What's wrong with pulling a log, Ubuntu? You're too good for log pulling. That's probably what they go through there.
He is too weak to pull log.
I was thinking, laugh at him. Like, ever think like, at what period of time would you be a genius? Right?
Probably never.
I'm no astronomer, but my basic understanding of stars and Earth rotations and the planets would be pretty elite at some period of time.
Yeah, but you couldn't prove it, right? I feel like it depends. If you really put some thought into it, I feel like you could go back to like the early 1900s and you could really get some shit done, right? Like you would hire the experts to put your ideas into practice. Like I don't know how to make penicillin, but I know how to make penicillin, right? It's bread mold. So if I got myself like a couple of like 1897 scientists together and was like, look, I don't know when penicillin was invented, by the way, clearly. I think it was early 1900s.
1930s, I think.
In any case, I'd be like, look, there's this thing called penicillin. It's literally bread mold. I don't know if it's a special bread. I don't know if we gotta get some rye or some pumpernickel. I don't know if it needs to be moist first, if somebody needs to poop on it. But this bread mold cures everything. Absolutely everything that we've had a problem. Syphilis, say no more. 3 days, you're good to go.
Dude, I have the same problem of not exactly knowing enough to be useful. Like, guys, exactly. I know that with a lemon or a potato or something, I can make a battery. That's as much as I know. So we're going to be poking around with wires and shit for somebody. Anyone have a small light bulb? We can see if it's working.
Also, by the way, has anyone invented wires yet? Shit. All right.
I'm need to go.
I'm so fucking dumb. Like, I would be trying to like come up with a thing, like an invent the math needed to prove that like a star placement there was different. But really, I just have to go to one of the smart people at the age and be like, hey, that star I'm pointing at right now, tonight, remember where that is? And then the next morning, I'd be like, it's over there now.
I'm pretty sure
I don't know what it means, but you do. Like, we're moving.
I'm pretty sure I know how to cure the bubonic plague, or at least the bubonic plague. I read like two different things. One sounds very painful, but it involves lancing the boils and cauterizing them. Apparently, that's a big part of curing it. And you get those boils in like your armpits or in your lymph nodes and stuff. And the other involved taking the scabs from other people who had the plague off of said boils, drying them out, and then the person snorts them.
And
so it's like own kind of.
I feel like we're pretty close to surviving that scale disease in Game of Thrones with Kyle's techniques there.
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Like I want to say I read that like the Arabics had figured out that if they took the dried scabs of a plague victim and ground them up and then snorted them, that was like a vaccine for bubonic plague, because you're getting a weakened version of the plague.
I'm way too much of a snowflake, because in my head all I can think of is Arabics racist?
No, I think yeah.
I did. Yeah. No, I don't think. I think it's just improper grammar more than anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't say anything without wondering. I think I referred to Mexicans as Mexicans a little while ago, and I had to process it. No, that one's okay.
Yeah, it's weird how there's been sort of a derogatory like thing put on Mexican, right? But it's because so many people are like, yeah, there's damn Mexicans.
Yeah, and I was
That
like,
sounds bad.
actually, that's an appropriate way to refer to Mexicans. Okay, I'm clear. Yeah, anyway, it's tricky now.
I wonder what the next one to go is. Like, when is person of color gonna revert back to what colored person was? Where they're like, actually, we don't like this either. Like, and then they decide to move that to something new.
I just hope Savage American becomes a thing.
Oh, I wanted to
I think
become a
that's
thing
an
so much.
uphill fight you guys are waging. It's gonna be tough.
I've got my Savage American jersey on here.
Oh, yes, you do.
I really like that jersey.
Actually, while you wear that jersey, you're allowed to say it.
That's right. I am one of the tribe, technically.
One of the tribe. Yeah, you're at least as Native American as Elizabeth Warren.
I knew that was coming.
Probably more. You've got high cheekbones. Not very dark hair though.
No, I don't. My mother was blonde, but Dad's got black hair. Yeah, a nice little mixture there. I like
Evened out.
Yeah, even.
I like what would your gift be if you were showing up at one of those islands? Like it's got to just be something that you can carry. How about that?
Man,
Something
I
you
think
can-
a fucking sword. Like first
I was
of all,
gonna bring a shield, like
I-
Captain
I know,
America's
gift
shield.
for them.
they flip it over and put rice in it or something to start cooking it. I feel like
They might like
bad,
that.
like a legit sword, like a nice, real chopping sword, or maybe just a good axe, like a good splitting maw or something like that. Like something that's both impressive to look at, clearly alien to them because of its workmanship, and utilitarian. Like if you just give them like a fucking iPad, like where are they going to charge that bitch up at? Right? That is God for like 12 hours. However
Well,
long
you
an
need
iPad
a
battery
potato
lasts.
and some wires, and the rest I don't understand.
I think they're gonna have a hard time charging it with a low current tater. They're gonna eat the tater like halfway through, like charging that thing. They're like, can we just eat the potato?
Because you just like give them seeds.
Oh,
That
you're
would
talking
require
about introducing them to agriculture? That's a long talk when we're drawing in sand.
What if you show up with some barbed wire and teach them about the fence?
I don't want to bring them anything that they're going to immediately use to kill me in hopes
You
that I
want
have.
to teach them domestication? I think that might be even harder.
Is it?
You're right. After I said it, I'm like I'm going to be like, okay, you put the seed in the ground. No, you don't dig it up right away. Like, it takes
good now.
So then we put the sea water on. No, no, you don't do that.
They're pissing on it or something. This is some Jack and the Magic Beanstalk shit. It's about as believable to them as like that story is to us. I think you give them a fucking sword, man. Because I'm just imagining like they've probably got something similar to a sword now, like they make those wooden swords in the Amazon, and apparently there's hardwood there that's legitimately hard enough you can make like a cutting implement out of it and kill a man with it. But if you showed them a fucking stainless steel saber, like one of, or maybe one of those cold steel like swords that they make for like zombie defense or whatever the fuck, and you handed it to Chief Nabumbo, and like of course he'd immediately go decapitate one of his enemies with it, and he'd love you. That'd
Dude,
be
you would
big
start
for him.
a civil war if you brought one sword.
And you'd be on the winning side.
No, bow and
would
arrow
be.
is not a bad thing.
Oh, a legit bow and arrow.
That's how they killed the
That's-
missionary.
A compound bow.
Am
Yeah,
I
that's
saying it right, missionary? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
What did I
Yeah,
call
yeah.
him before?
Mercenary.
Yeah, all right. Now I'm all caught up.
If you not even maybe a compound bow, because those like eventually go bad, and but like recurve bows, like that's another step up in the technology, right? Like, you know, they've got those silly bows they've got, and then I guess you'd have the long bow and then the recurve bow where the ends go back the other way, and it adds a tremendous amount of extra power, 20 or 30% or something like that, and then just a shit fucking ton of wooden arrows, like good ones. They'd be blown away by that. They'd love that
I
shit.
think like what would endear them the most to you would be like a big cooking set, like a bunch of pots and pans and shit. That'd be so much easier for them. And then like normal knives to cut things up.
Knives
Like a
would be
knife
big.
set and like a pot and pan set.
Pair
They
of
would
blue
love that.
jeans would blow them the fuck away.
Oh, bring jeans but you know what? Oh, this would be hilarious. You bring jeans, but you bring like jeans that are way out of style. Like I'd bring like Jean
Jinko.
Code jeans from the 90s, and
Huge
I'd
leg.
hand them out. Huge leg Jean Code jeans. So then when when the Coconut Man shows up, they've got these enormous big legged pants. That
I
they're
got a
all
better
wearing.
one. What if like unbeknownst to them, because they don't know shit, you dress them up as the village people. You just got a bunch of Indian police officer, firemen, like the whole bit, and they're all standing there proud of their new their new fucking clothes, and you're just like, they don't know they're the village people.
That would be hilarious. Like you go there and you're the king, and you like teach them English, and you make them like act out American shows.
This version of House of Cards isn't half bad. It's the street fighting, right, guys?
Yeah.
It seems like there are a lot of those stories.
Like I look at Steve, and I don't think you don't look like a Boss Rutan type guy. Nope. I don't expect you to have like all these stories of mixing it up in the streets and the bars and hotel rooms and stuff like that. But I'd be wrong.
That helps. It's the whiskey. The whiskey helps. But yeah, I think I played hockey all my life. I think that's kind of like part of it. So it's like if you're playing a game and somebody's getting a little rough, you just drop the gloves and throw the sweater over, and you just start going to town. But by no means am I like a Chuck Norris or anything. I'm not a badass. But when I was younger, for sure, I had a little edge. But two kids and the wife will call that.
Okay, you said that, but when's the last time you got into a physical altercation?
Oh, well, the last time I almost got into a physical. Yeah, you mean actually or almost?
I'll take both.
I'll take both.
We'll take both.
Well, almost was about 2 weeks ago. I went to a movie theater, and I went to go see. It doesn't even matter what I went to see, but I went and saw a movie with my buddies.
It was Joker, Leads to Violence.
No, I was inspired. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I went and saw this movie with my buddies, and there was a couple in the way back, like the hand job seats, the last
I'm
row.
Familiar.
Best seats.
And they were talking the whole movie. I'm talking the whole movie. And, it's ArcLight, it's Los Angeles. You think they're not going to be talking as much, but they were. And, I was just like, what are you going to do? So we're all using the bathroom at the end of the movie, and we're talking about it. And a guy next to me was talking about, did you hear that couple? I was like, yeah, I didn't know this guy. And so we come out of the bathroom, and the couple is walking out, and they're talking, and I couldn't help myself. I just go, yap, 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 the whole fucking movie. And next thing I know, this guy beefs up. He's coming at me, and he picked up a table and actually went to go throw it at me.
That happens a lot.
A whole table?
A whole table, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm going to myself. I'm saying to myself, if I call my wife an hour from now from the jail, this is going to be a horrible holiday season. So it's like I just don't engage. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, when I was single and you got nothing to lose, it's like, yeah, all right.
That's not
let's
a
see what
table.
happens here.
That's a great way to handle it. Is just be like, yap, 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 fucking talking the whole time, you cunts. Then he comes to respond, and you're like, I'm above that.
Yeah, well, it's also like you can pick up on these things where when he picked up the table, went like this, and then he put it down. I was like, all right, he's never going to hit me, because if he was going to, he would just walk up and he would shove me or he'd hit me. I think after a while, when you've been in altercations, you can smell when it's actually going to happen. And
posturing.
Yeah, I also, I came up at a time when I was in college where all those great independent films were coming out, like Swingers and Fight Club came out. And I remember, I don't know, not that you want to romanticize fighting, but I remember Brad Pitt, one of those lines he said was, how much do you know about yourself until you've been in a fight? And I was just kind of thought that was kind of cool. Not anymore, though, because I'm 45, I got 2 kids, I got the wife, and you can't be doing that at
It's
this
been
age.
weeks since that's happened.
You got to teach
It's been
them
weeks.
how
It's
to fight.
been 2. It hasn't even been a month.
Hey, Steve, can you lower your gain again? It's louder than it was pre-show.
Yeah.
We are loud.
Hold on, I gotta, because I'm not used to this. Hold on, I gotta do the thing, right? The settings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we go. And is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More's better.
That's interesting. All right, so Woody, I think Woody maybe the last time that we'll just go with almost.
Almost.
I think was the gravel guy in your yard that where you guys had that altercation.
Oh yeah, it's been weeks since that's happened.
It's only been weeks. He wouldn't move his gravel truck for you.
Yeah.
And the last one I heard from Taylor maybe when you picked that kid up who was trying to save
parking
the
lot.
parking space
Oh
by
yeah,
standing in
the
it,
Mizzou football game. at
and
the
you literally
parking
picked
garage.
him up and moved him out of the parking space.
Kyle,
Yeah,
when's
but he
your
didn't-
last
he didn't
one?
resist.
That would probably be when I was in prison. Yeah, that would probably be,
None of us
also
really
a few
belong
weeks ago. Yeah,
on the high
Yeah.
horse here.
Yeah,
Yeah, Steve doesn't even know you were in prison for 2 months.
it's not.
recently.
It's a boring tale. You know, you touch the wrong racist television set, and they get a little upset. No big deal.
That's not true at all. No, Steve's gonna get the wrong idea.
Someone wanted to get
That's
with
exactly what it was.
That's the indication. I'm sorry. I took that as you saying that's why you were in prison, some sort of racist transgression. I
No,
misunderstood.
the thing that almost got me in the fight was touching the wrong races. Well, it wasn't even his. It's complicated. It wasn't his television. That was the white people
I want
TV.
to go to an Irish pub and do some Jello shots with you guys.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
Is the volume
mine would
better
be
now,
all
or is it
Jell-O.
worse?
I turned you up because it was just low.
Is it low now? You want me to turn it up?
I can fix that on my end. What I can't fix is blown out. So I think
Yeah, I think we're good
I
now.
don't know if we can do any better.
Yeah, I
think
bumped
we're-
you back up, and I'm hearing you loud and clear now.
We're storming ahead. It's all good.
Like, is this better?
You're good.
That okay?
Yeah, I think
I'll
this.
stop toying with it.
Okay.
Fucking perfect. Absolutely perfect. Lots of good people talking about how good your bike is. So you talked about the last time you almost got in an altercation. When was the last time you got in a full blown one, like a real one?
I mean, probably the last time I got into a fight was playing ice hockey. It was, and this is so bad. This is again, like I joined this men's league in Pasadena.
Yeah,
And this is way
playing,
back
you know,
in
just-
like 2018 or so.
This is 3 years ago.
Okay, 16.
So my, I'm playing ice hockey. It's a pickup league where you go and you pay, whatever, and it's at noon you show up and you just skate with a bunch of people. They have 2 goalies,
Okay.
and I've done it a few times, and I tell my wife and my daughter at the time, like, why don't you guys come? You can watch, and they go, of course, yeah, come on down. They're watching me play hockey, and I'm skating, and like a teenager or a college kid shoved his stick in between my knees. And it's like, at 40, I can't be taken out at the knees, and there's no rest there and stuff. So I go, hey, man, come on. So I come on up ice again, and he does it again. I go, come on, man, you can't be doing that. And then it was the third time he did it. I just kind of snapped back and I shoved him, and his buddy came in, and his buddy shoved me back, and I just absolutely dropped my gloves. I go after him, and I'm just drilling him. And I just remember seeing my wife pick up my daughter, and she's walking out. I'm like, okay, I think we're done here. We're done here. So that was the last time. And, I just, I can't be doing those things.
Getting in a fight at men's league. First of all, how were you able to punch him, or were you just punching the cage that all those guys wear? Because that's pretty tough.
Well, in the adult league, it's like half visor shield.
Oh,
but
they really
it's
do
all
pretend NHL.
It's all just kind of plastic. So you're kind of like hitting it to kind of jostle it free.
Mhm.
And then you go on skin to skin. But
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like hockey, I don't even think that fully counts. I think your wife was rash taking your daughter out of there. That's the rules.
I
of
think
the-
so
of the
too. I
game.
think that she would want to see how a man behaves when push comes to shove,
Yeah.
and knowing that there's a guardian at their house now that will.
Flawless logic.
I don't know.
Honey,
You can
there
take
were
that too
3
far, though.
infractions that could have crippled me for life prior to that. You didn't see them because you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, but I think that before, I think you guys were referencing a fight in Phoenix that I was in.
Mhm.
Is that what you were talking about? That where I was.
I don't know. I've heard a couple of your
There
tales.
was-
I heard the one about when
A fight.
when you spat on the cab driver's back window.
The elevator one was one of my favorites.
The elevator one, when you were
Did we
defending
lose
the
him?
honor of
He's
that very racist
frozen.
young lady.
Yeah, defending the honor of the racist young lady. It's great. I wish we hadn't lost him.
We'll get him
Yeah,
back in a
I
second.
like
I've
the
got-
defending the honor of the racist young lady because at some point, like you've already committed, you're in too deep. You can't back out. But I won't spoil any of that story because it's very funny.
Yeah.
Wish our friend Steve was.
Whenever he gets back, I
Still
actually
with
have.
us.
I
I
actually
have
have
my
some.
own from while he's gone. This is like
Sure.
September, and this guy's like actually my friend, right? But towing, something about it is just high intensity. Things are going rough. This is acrobatic paragliding towing stuff, and it is always just it's so tense that relationships are strained. Every tow club everywhere in this para world. Okay, so
he's showing me how another guy is too alpha. And by doing that, he puts his arm over my shoulder in almost a headlock, and he's rough. And he's
He doesn't like that.
He's like grinding me at it and pulling my head down. He's shorter than me, so he's making me like bend over. And I laugh with him and say, "Hey man, I don't like that." But then he does it again. And right? And it's just like, well, now we've
So you shot him.
now we switched from a demonstration of like what someone else did to him doing it to me, right? He heard I didn't like it and took it as an invitation to bully me. And so with his arm over me like that, he was prone to a hip toss.
God.
Which is exactly what I did.
You've opened yourself up to a hip toss, you fool.
So I rolled him over my back, feet way up in the air, and I put him down gently, but he was there looking up at me, and I continued to walk on. And
I imagine you go into a kata at that point, like a five kata. You literally go, "Ki-ya!" and fucking bust out a couple of
and
those,
we're
couple
still
elbows.
friends, and everything is cool. I've replayed it in my mind a couple of times because I'm wired that way because I'm stupid, and I'm like, I'm kind of okay with how that went down, right? Like
I'm okay with how that went down too.
Yeah.
Yeah. A hip throw is a humiliating way to get tossed in a street fight. Wait, that's what
It's a
called, right? Hip
humiliating.
throw?
Well, what it was like there was some sort of like big brother sort of like I can pick on Woody kind of thing, and then quickly the guy realized Woody could probably murder me right here with his bare hands, and he's just a nice fella who's being kind enough not to finish his kia.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
We
No
got you,
worries.
Steve.
Yeah, what we were saying was you were asking which fight we were referencing, and you mentioned the Phoenix one, and I was just saying that a couple that I heard you speak about when you spit on the cab driver's car, which seems mildly your fault, and when you were
It's something we've all done.
and when you were
Sometimes just for fun.
You didn't get the lead up to it, but that's okay. It's okay.
he was a little rude, but it was a spit. And
Yeah.
then when you completely justifiably defended the honor of that incredibly racist young white lady in the elevator.
True.
I bet she was pretty.
Pretty hot.
Right?
Pretty hot, yeah.
If an ugly girl drops an N-bomb and you're there, you're just like, get it, boys.
Yeah, believe me. If that's an Ohio 4, she's got to fend for herself. But
If
it's
she's
a
an
Phoenix
Ohio 4, she
9. It's
probably
like,
could.
all right, yeah.
Yeah. When you were I'll let you run through that, just the version of that defending the racist girl story, because I have a couple questions about that.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, what happened was I did the show, and you're young, you're single, you go out afterwards, you meet some girls. Me and this other comic met some girls. We paired up, and then it's the end of the night, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna walk these girls to their car in the parking garage. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna stay here. So this comic and I are talking as the girls walk down the hall. I eventually run over, catch up, and there's a guy holding open the elevator doors, and he's basically saying, come on, girl, give me your number, give me your number. She's like, we're good here. And he's there with 4 or 5 other guys, and he is African American. There's a reason I'm saying this to part to the story. So he just keeps asking for the number, and I'm just kind of standing in the back like, all right, I guess I got to go in at some point. So he's like, come on, girl, give me your number, give me your number. She's like, I'm not giving you my number. And I go under his arm. I'm like, look, I get it, guys. They're cute girls, but, let's just call it a night here, right? And the guy is just absolutely ignoring me. I do not exist. I'm Patrick Swayze in Ghost. I'm not there. And he keeps talking to this girl, and he's going, come on, girl, don't you want to hang with this bling? Don't you want to hang with this bling? She's like, I don't want your bling. You're not getting my number. His buddies start tapping him on the shoulder like, come on, buddy, let's go. And then he says it one more time, and she goes, I'm not giving you my number, you. And then she drops the N-bomb. And I
Playing
just
for
remember
keeps.
everything. What's that?
Says she's playing for keeps. She's tired.
She's playing for yeah. And everything, you always hear those things that happen in slow motion. Everything happened in slow motion. I remember him walking in, the doors shutting behind his boys as the boys are trying to get the door open, and I see him starting to walk towards this girl, and I don't know what's going to happen. We're in an elevator; it's a confined space, so I kind of stand in front of him, and we grab each other, and just instinctually, I just pulled his shirt over his head, and I'm just drilling him as hard and as fast as I can. And he's going, chill, dog, chill. I go, are you done? Are you done? He goes, chill, dog, chill. I go, are you done? He goes, I'm done. I'm done. So I let go of him. I kind of stand off to the corner. The girl's crying. Her friend is hugging her, like consoling her. And because we were jostling around so much, we shook the elevator off its course.
My favorite
So now
part.
we're stuck. We're just sitting there. So these girls are crying. I'm standing there. The guy's pulling his shirt over his head. He's a little banged up. And I just remember Sarah Smiles by Hall & Oates is playing. And I'm like, well, I'll never forget this song.
Perfect
And
fight
then
song.
he keeps like looking at me, and he's just staring at me. And I'm thinking, he's going to take another pop. So be ready. He's going to hit me again. And he's looking at me. Then I'm not even going to pretend I'm not looking at him. I look back at him because I'm waiting for him to hit me again. And then he just looks at me and goes, have you been on BT's Comic View? I was like, yeah. He goes, you did that Bruce Lee Kung Fu bit? I go, yeah. He goes, what are you doing in town? I go, I was at the Improv tonight. I'm doing a show with a bunch of my buddies. And that's how I met this racist in the corner. So he starts laughing. She kind of chuckles, but she's distraught. And I don't even remember talking to her after that. And next thing I know, we hear a boo, and the elevator goes back, and we're going up. And as we're going up, I'm like, yeah, if you want tickets, I'll get you and your friends tickets or whatever. He's like, oh, thanks, man. That's cool. The doors open, and as soon as they open, I just get bum rushed because his friends had heard everything. So I get pop, 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 shirt ripped. And next thing I know, the hotel desk clerk comes over. He goes, I called the cops, so you guys hang tight. They didn't hang tight. The girls are hitting the button in the elevator to go down to their car, and I'm sitting there in the lobby with my shirt ripped. I'm bleeding from my eye, and the other comic that I was hanging out with comes out of the business center holding a coffee, and he goes, I just left you. What? It all was probably 8 minutes long. It was crazy. So that was one of my favorite ones.
Well, those guys missed out on some free tickets. You were about to hook them all up.
I was about to hook them up.
I wonder if they stopped and said, oh, dude, I love your Bruce Lee bit, if you would have still came through with the tickets.
I would have came through with the tickets, yeah. I would have for the funnies for the story, for sure. Yeah.
Because then you can tell the story of the show and just point them out. And those guys there just beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I only brought one shirt. That's why I look so disheveled. Was there any part when she dropped the N-bomb where you were like, I could cut and run right now? Or were you like, I'm already in too deep with this. I'm playing the defender. I gotta
I was in too deep. Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, there was no way. Believe me, if there was a door I could walk out of and go, "She's on your," but it was too late. Unless I do the hatch up top.
Belly, but I don't drink any beer. It's more like a burrito belly.
Like
I do have those.
You can lose a lot on the way here if you fast. You can lose so much weight.
Yeah,
it's hard to do. It's hard to discipline yourself to just like stop eating.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to prison, like there would be 5-day stretches where I would not eat.
Why?
Like I just lose weight. I lost 35 pounds when I was in prison.
Jesus.
Yeah.
In 2 months.
You know what's crazy? If you look at, I don't know if you probably don't, but Mike the Situation Sorrentino from Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Right. He was fat. Like during the last. So it's called the Jersey Shore Family Vacation. They came back. The show came back. And it's just as funny as it was way back when. But Mike used to eat a lot because he was having his tax problems and he was about to go to jail. He came out and he's like a legit bodybuilder, like massive, massive arms, as big as it, probably bigger than he was.
Came out on the show or came out of jail? I got confused.
Came out of jail. Came out of jail in the show.
Okay.
So he went to jail during the. It's a weird thing, but it was crazy. Now this is the one that's going to blow your mind. Sundance Di Giovanni, you guys all know him, came on my podcast July 4th, or 3 days before July 4th. Okay. He was a grown man. He was a little bit overweight. This dude didn't eat solids for, I believe, 30 days. Right? It was just the right amount of whatever things that you need to have on a daily basis.
Protein and fat through shakes and stuff, I assume.
No. It's just, I think, I don't remember. I have the text somewhere, but he didn't eat any of that. It was just antibiotics. Is that what it's called? No, not antibiotics.
Vitamins.
Yeah, just vitamins. Yeah, exactly. Vitamins. What is that? Probiotics. Sorry. Probiotics,
okay.
vitamins in his water for an entire month. And you could not believe the way this dude looked. I had just seen him like the month prior, and then we show up at an MLG event, and he was walking towards me. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? I look at him, and I'm like, what the hell, bro? His face, if you look him up right now, his face is super. He looks like he's 20 years old, the dude. And all from not eating anything. He's like, I had a hot dog and a burger on July 4th, and I never ate again. And I mean, obviously he's back to it. But he had
Good for
to
that guy.
Yeah, he had to do broth first to reactivate the old engine, and then he started to moving on to solids. And I was like, I cannot believe. Like, questions like, what do you shit if all you're doing is eating
Nothing.
water? So you don't poop.
Mm-mm.
No, you have to poop. Right?
No.
Like if you don't use it, you lose it. Like your intestines.
That's like
are gone.
no.
Kyle didn't poop for 16 days.
Yeah, it was 14. I thought it was 15 or 16 days or something like that.
Is this camera fucked up anywhere else?
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
It's you.
No,
It
your
flickered for a
camera is.
moment.
Your camera's a little Joker-esque right now. For me.
Yeah, man.
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're really going for it, huh?
Like right now, it's
Yeah, it's like scrambled. It's like scrambled.
Really?
This is the
I'm
porn
not-
I
it's
watched
fine.
in the 80s.
So please tell me, you didn't poop for 16 days. Explain that. How did you feel that you had to poop? Was there ever
No,
a thought, like,
there's-
I have to?
no. I just there wasn't enough food going in to like have to go. So the camera's fucked up now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't see anything wrong. I'll leave the call and join back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been super disciplined in my diet recently. If recently means yesterday and today.
Is that
Yeah,
better?
you're fixed, Kyle. You're all good.
Way back.
Weird? I think that's a symptom I've never had before. Maybe, right?
I have. Yeah, that's not a normal issue.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
So what's your diet now?
Now it's just moderation, like just not eating too much of anything. Like for breakfast, I had like a really small sirloin steak and some scrambled eggs, and then for dinner, I had a grilled chicken sandwich. So-
I'm Mexican. I can't do that. What were you about to say, Woody?
I was half making a joke, just that I haven't cheated at all in 2 days. That's not very long. But yeah,
I like Mexican food too. I cook a lot, so I'll make
Yeah.
fajitas or I'll make carne asada or something like that. Just less of it. I made
Tortillas, rice,
dude,
beans. If who am I if I don't eat those things?
a couple of days ago, I made homemade Crunchwrap Supremes.
Mhm.
They were so fucking good. Let me see if I've got a picture somewhere. I'm gonna move the picture to over here. I'll have to get it off my phone. But I'd never done that before. Taco Bell has the Crunchwrap Supremes.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, there's a lot of YouTube videos and stuff online about like how to make them at home.
Mhm.
And I made them, and they were amazing. They're so
Look
much
good.
better than fucking Taco Bell.
for sure.
But I like to cook. I cook a lot. That's the big thing I watch on YouTube now is like various cooking shows, and that's probably my biggest hobby right now is cooking too. I do a lot of cooking. God, my eyes burn.
Yeah, dude, you gotta. If I were you, I'd go take care of that, dude. Just take that shit off.
I put it's good. This is not a simple like
Yeah,
take
but
that
permanent
off kind of
eye
thing.
damage.
I need permanent eye hand. I put some eye drops in a moment ago. That helped a little bit.
No, that's just gonna reactivate the enzymes in the paint, dude.
The goo.
You just made that up.
Don't reactivate the enzymes.
It's not the enzymes of the
Ah,
paint, dude.
You're a dead man now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you would think they would make this paint not burn your eyes. Or of course, I guess they thought I was smart enough not to like paint my bottom eyelid.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like the way to go at the time.
Ooh. This is an interesting
Interesting.
question. It's from the Ask Me Anything, the Patreon questions, and it's for Kyle. You were in prison with people who've been in for over a decade. Did you have to explain YouTube or the internet to guys who've never used it before their time in prison?
Excellent question.
They understood that. Like nobody. I thought there would be some people who were just like almost like time travelers. They were so like, they'd been in for so long or whatever, but that wasn't really the case. They understood the internet. There were definitely people that I explained like what I did and like how that worked for sure. Like my buddy Snow, I explained that to him over the course of. I must have explained it to him 3 or 4 fucking times. If you asked him today, he probably still doesn't know. But like, I broke it down as best I could and explained what I had done in the past and what I did now. And yeah, there were some people I explained that sort of thing to. But there were a lot of guys that were really hip to that sort of thing and got it. There were several guys that were in there for internet-based crimes, where it was identity theft, or they had like they were coders or programmers or sysadmins, and using that that access that they had to a company's data banks, they were able to siphon money. They were the watchdog, so they were the guy that was. If anyone was going to catch some money getting siphoned out, it was going to be them. And they it's not like they had a guy looking over their shoulder, so they could just do it. It was almost like that scheme from Office Space, stuff like that.
I was thinking about it on a drive recently. When I worked at Cisco, it was one of the early companies to do e-commerce. There was a time when Cisco was like the second largest e-commerce person in terms of revenue. Anyway, Cisco kept credit card numbers in what they call clear text, like it wasn't encrypted or anything. And I had access to the production databases because sometimes you'd need that for my job. And I ran queries against it just out of curiosity, straight up like, all right, show me all the credit card numbers that aren't expired right now. Thousands. And I was like, all right, probably should end our curiosity right here. But they were there. That like I had all the numbers I needed. I could have done silly things. Yeah.
One guy was explaining in general terms, because you don't want to admit to like specific crimes in prison because somebody might just go tell on you to get time taken off of themselves. But he was in there for a crime he did not commit, and he was like, I didn't do it. He's like, what they said I did, I absolutely had nothing to do with that, and I could prove that I didn't do it. I was like, well, why are you here? He's like, well, if I hadn't pled guilty to what they accused me of, they'd have kept digging and they'd have found what I actually did. I love that story. He was one of those guys who was like some sort of guy, some sort of like tech guy for a large corporation, and the money was kind of flowing past him, not necessarily through him, but like he was like keeping the gears turning on the e-commerce side of things. And I guess they accused him of one thing, and he was just like, his lawyer was like, wait, you did this too? He's like, yeah, I actually did do this thing. He's like, they haven't mentioned that. I don't think they know about it. He's like, well, if they keep digging, they're going to find it. He's like, well, we got to plead guilty to this other little thing. You'll do 1.5 years and you'll be out.
Yeah. Yeah, clear text numbers, and also I don't want to give much away. I don't know if the system's still live, but the way that the security worked was predictable if you were hip to it.
So if I was going to rob Cisco, how would I best do it, Woody?
I could. Yeah. And not really rob Cisco, rob their customers. And
better.
Yeah, I could just like add free shit to their order, add line items to the order, and it would be no trouble. Now, I don't know how to not get caught, right? Like, how do I send things to me? Do we send it here at home? But
you would maybe like transfer it to some sort of crypto, right?
Oh, well, this would be physical items, this particular
scam
I could figure out.
Okay.
The things Cisco sells can be very expensive, $250,000, $1 million,
Yeah,
right? So, but now what do I do with it? How do I get it? Are we going to have it mailed someplace? There are no cameras.
That was the dark times, actually.
I kind of.
And what you didn't realize is actually 80% of the guys I was with were not cool. I was carrying the coolness for them, just so you know. It was all me, bro. Yeah, that was all me.
Sauce is all you, baby.
Yeah. It was all me.
It was all that. You had all the charisma in the room. That's why you didn't let half of the other ones talk. their bits were just, this is Muscles Glasses, because he doesn't do bits or voices or anything. He just is strong.
You should have seen the first episodes where he was hosting.
Oh, wow.
We're like, I don't know if this is going to work. You should stop talking. Apparently he lives in the woods now.
Just in the woods, the general woods?
Yeah, apparently he ran away into the woods.
Oh, we were talking about people that live in the woods earlier.
Is he doing well in the woods?
Honestly, I don't know.
I
You
bet
guys
it's
had
probably
kind of
from
a
lifestyle.
nasty divorce, right? You and Muscles Glasses.
It's one-sided. I look back at it and I'm always like, oh man, shit, 22 years old. He was 22. I'm sure with my brain now, I could have serviced him better to prevent him from making such an error. But back then, people didn't understand the overhead of YouTube. If you looked up like EpicMealTime value, it'll be like $10 million. And they look at me, they're like, you have $10 million? Give me $10 million a year. And I'm like, bro, I'm driving a fucking Nissan Sentra, you dumbass. There's not even a single million here right now.
Am I wrong about this? Like, tell me if I'm stepping out of my place here, but did it inflame it a little bit when they came to my house?
I was just about to say it's like 20% your fault. I wish the YouTube drama shit existed back then. So I'm gonna be like, don't blame me. Blame fucking FPSRussia. The guy's
What went down at your house?
He's a liar. His name's. We got there, and this guy has like 4 cars and a boat called YouTube Money. Dozens of guys hidden in the couch. He hires a guy to play the Xbox games for him. It was literally like, and they're looking at me. They're like, "Yo, this is he's got the same amount of users." So it's happening. I'm like, listen. There's 6 of you. It's one of him. I don't know how financially responsible that boat purchase is. It
was like a $30,000 boat.
But it was like, I left and I was like, fucking Kyle, man. Why do you have to name the boat YouTube Money?
Because you said it. It was so cool when you said it. It was funny. Yeah. And I don't think I would have bought the.
Until he was like, "Where's my boat?
Where's my boat?
Where's my boat?"
I thought I was like hammering it home a little bit when you all had to share the same guest bedroom. It's like, let's so you know, guys, like we're not really balling here. Like I got a 3-bedroom house. Like there was a part where you guys were all going to bed, and I like opened the guest bedroom, and they're all in there asleep in one guest bedroom because I only have one, and they're on the floor in sleeping bags, and I go, "Good night, EpicMealTime," and like 2 or 3 of them go, "Good night, FPSRussia," and I close the door.
It's not even a joke. Like when I think about like the good times of like the internet or the experience, I'm not like, oh, when we got hooked up at the club and we did this, or like when we did. It was literally like the times when like all 3 of us would humbly sit in your extra bedroom, lying on mattresses on the floor, and no one complained.
Yeah.
Like they were literally, when we got back, they were like, "Oh, I want to get a house and a pool." And I'm like, there's literally not even money for me to get a house and a pool. And if anyone's getting a house and a pool, it'll be me first. So let's not talk about that right now. Okay. Get in line. You're like 4th to get a house and a pool. I remember things were simple back then. And I actually loved that. That was peak.
Yeah, no, all that stuff was fun. I enjoyed having White Boy at my house that summer. That was really fun to like have somebody.
White Boy was great
because he was like, we were doing the same thing more or less, but not competing against each other in any sort of way. So it was like if me and you were sharing a place, like I think we'd have tried to collab more. But if we're doing separate projects, there's a little bit of competition, a little bit. It's not like you're a gun channel. It's not like I'm slinging food.
Or like there was like something like, well, I can't upload this. I gotta wait for Kyle to upload today. I'm not gonna do it. It's like there would be, if not competition, at least like conscious maneuvers around. There would be some positive synergy for sure, more than anything.
Yeah,
but I think back on those times, and I'm like, man, like it was people like we were lying a lot, like in terms of the success of it, like. I moved and acted like we were making the money that like Logan Paul makes right now. And that's not what the financial scenario was at the time. But like, I think about like the poor dudes that left, like Muscles and Tyler. And I'm like, bro, not the time. You should have stuck around for like 3 or 4 more years. Even Josh, who was on the show for, 3-4 years after Alex and Tyler, like he ended up on the TV show. He ended up getting his a hosting job on his own TV show because of that. I mean, he's making.
I think Tyler went and did like. Didn't Tyler go do some kind of rap battle thing or something?
He may have. I mean, like not as a career or anything. He may have been involved in something.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw him at a rap battle.
Move. Oh yeah, he did go to a lot of that.
yeah, I think he was into it. I know.
Yeah.
What was he an okay guy? I know you and Muscles glasses fell apart, but I always liked Muscles. I don't know if you like me. Probably not.
I think Muscles was like at the time, and apparently he's different now, but I don't know him now at all. But it was just something that I heard like when I spoke with Tyler a couple years ago, was that he's started like, neither of those guys smoked the weed. They kind of smoked the weed and mellowed out a whole bunch since then. I mean, probably like 27 probably hits hard when it's like 5 years later and like Epic Mealtime has like the TV show coming out. You're like, maybe I left a bad time to just go and not do anything really.
It's just such a fun thing, like to pal around with you and do that thing,
bro. Muscles glasses, literally, I only asked like 1 day a week from him, 1 2-hour day. He had to come and he was the only guy on the team, and like this was like what was hard for me to balance this out, was like I had to explain to like guys like Dave, Josh, and Amir, who were hardworking guys. I had to explain to them like why Alex can come in 4 hours after them when the food is done, eat a bunch of bacon, and then leave and go to university to take classes that I literally was paying for because it was something we worked out. And they're like, why doesn't he clean? I'm like, because he's the guy. We made him the guy. We thought it was fun and funny, but now he's the guy. And negotiation-wise, like I don't have the money that he thinks I do to do this, and I'm not foolish with the money. So, like, he just doesn't have to clean up. We clean up, and they got it. They were workers. Like they understood that. But someone who was closer to him, like Tyler, I think that was like harder to swallow because like they were the same age. They were best friends. They both didn't have a real job at this point in their life. So it was like I look back and I'm like, oh, I didn't have the right leadership skills to explain this properly. I was also stressing. And like when they came up to me, like sometimes people would come up to me and be like we were at your house sharing a guest bedroom, right? 3 of us in a room. Well, then we moved to LA and we literally stayed in Ludacris's old house, which was the rent was $45,000 per month. And we didn't pay that. We split that with a company. A company paid most of that. We just stayed there. And like what happened was when we were there, like we each had a room. And like one of the rooms was a closet. But when I say it's a closet, the closet was like 20 feet by 20 feet.
Okay.
And there's no clothes in there because it was a rented house. But like, so he has a 20 foot by 20 foot space and it's connected to a bedroom and there's a bathroom in there. It's a private bathroom. You can close the door to whatever.
The lap of luxury.
Yeah. Some people like had like more, but like when I say this had like a 20 by 20 like room with no closet that he slept in. I should also mention that this place had 2 saunas, a pool, a movie theater. I'm not even exaggerating. You can look up this house. It's 1659 Marley Drive or 1600 Marley Drive. If you go Marley Drive, it's behind Chateau Marmont in LA. If you look at like the Cloud House or these houses that they have now that these YouTubers do, like these are the houses, but this was like a far superior one. Because it had like the gym, the sauna, the theater. And it's like, you want to be a rapper? You want to be a rapper, but you're unhappy with the setup here?
Jeez.
Well, what would you do on tour in a tour bus? Like artists that go on tour in a tour bus have less than a 20 by 20 space. We knew artists. They had little fucking pods on their bus. And like, you know, this wasn't enough for them, but that was I look back and I'm not like, he's an idiot. Because he was probably smarter than I was at that age. But I'm just like, oh, my lack of leadership skills to really explain to him in a good way that this was an opportunity is something that I failed. And I say that because you knew Tyler, Kyle. I mean, I can't say much for Muscles. We kind of like, we all joked because we thought it was funny that Muscles Glasses was Muscles Glasses. Because we're like, I can't believe Alex is like, everyone's so hyped about him. It's Alex. Like, he's eating bacon. Like, Alex eating bacon is like the hypest shit. Like, we found that funny. But like, Tyler was and is like genuinely a very funny person. Like that's a guy like, outside of Epic Mealtime, hang around him, like you'll laugh. If you look back at old Epic Mealtime episodes, like the things that he does on camera, you laugh. He's a funny guy. But you know, if like I mean my ego was bad at like 27. If I had that ego in that scenario at 22, like I would have really fucked up. I would have fucked up a lot. If I were in your position, Kyle, even just by myself, like I would have fucked up. Like, you know, you pushed the envelope, you went like further, you didn't have like the team. I mean, like you had one kitty, which is worth like a dozen normal men. But like,
he pushed the envelope, but it was an envelope that was pushed to him that did the damage. In the
end. No, it was
because of the drugs.
Right.
No, I never I don't know. Like I never wanted to be too crazy frivolous with money. I immediately bought a new car. And then me and my dad immediately, like I was like, Dad, I'm gonna buy a truck. Do you want to just buy a truck with me? Let's just buy a whole truck. And then we quickly realized that you can't buy half a truck. So I had to get a check from Father, and then it was his whole truck. You can't both put $20,000 into a thing, because then one person gets mad about how the other person uses it. So just write me a check and we'll be fine. So we got that sorted out right away. But yeah, and then I bought that boat. That boat was not supposed to be a frivolous purchase. That was supposed to be a smart idea. But I got like, this happens to me sometimes. I get swept up in like the idea that we're going to do a thing. So, and I won't let anything get in my way. It's like, look, I said I was going to do a thing. Oh, now Alex is out and we can't get a house. I'll get a fucking boat. Like, it's like, wait a minute. Who am I trying to beat? There's no one to beat here. There's no competition. It's just us. It's just me. I could sit here and do nothing, or just fucking take $30,000 more out of the bank and buy the house. That's what I should have fucking done. I don't know why I didn't just do that. That was absurd.
We had a game at the airport. So like my manager, very nice guy, but horrible at handling like conflict with customers. He was too nice. He wasn't good at putting his foot down ever, and would end up just giving them the farm if they asked for it. And so after a while, there was one time where people were asking for a manager in a hectic situation, and I was just like, yeah, that's me. Just lied and then handled it okay. And so from then on at the airport, like when there was a really horrible customer, they would call an audible called Pretend Manager. I was Pretend Manager. And so like I would get calls and I was doing fleet management stuff, and it'd be like, hey, what's up? And he'd be like, fleet manager was like being outside, like organizing what cars go where. It's like after you graduate from finishing the ticket writing, or at least it was at this branch. And he would call out to the booth and be like, hey, Taylor, we got a really rowdy one here on line 2. Can you pretend manager for us? I'd be like, and I loved Pretend Manager. It was so much fun to be Pretend Manager.
I like to think you did accents for no reason.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah, and it would just be shit like answering the phone. Taylor, manager of the airport. And they'd be like, I was just talking to someone and they are not refunding the $40 that you owe me. And then I would just like make up managerial protocols a lot of the time. Where I'd be like, we have something called the T2 form. You're going to want to dial him back. Make sure you get that. That's called a lost item form. Now you're going to transition that from me to the actual airport security. They know exactly where to file. A lot of this was just buying time for the manager to figure out what it was. So you're going to call them, ask about that, and then you bring us back and make sure you have and then just list off a couple, your insurance card number, your just stuff to slow them down to make it so we can actually find what they lost or get what they need. And I would just send these people on goose chases. And just absolute goose chases to find all these things. And then usually by the time they got back, it'd be like, oh, it's all, you don't need any of that. It's all sorted. It's all. And then other ones, the most fun one of those, there was this like really effeminate, short, fat guy who he came in right into the front and he said, I reserved a Chevy Tahoe and I don't see a Chevy Tahoe. I just walked your lot. He was giving me that head shake and that kind of saying, I just walked your lot. I reserved a Chevy Tahoe and it is not there. Do I need to go to a competitor? Do I need to call my friend who is a lot higher up here in you at this company? Do I need to do that? Do I need to do it? And I remember doing Pretend Manager and I was like, sir, you're acting erratic. Have you been drinking? There are other people in line. And he's like, the fact you would even ask that says more than enough. I'm definitely ringing him. I'm ringing him. I'm like, sir, as far as we are as a company, I'm sure you know a lot of people who are high up here, and I respect that. You've just come in here in a way that I no longer feel secure renting our property to you. I apologize for the inconvenience. If you'd like, I could call you a cab and get you where you need to be. It's just our property and yourself, sir, for your own safety. I don't know if we feel it's the best idea that we give you a vehicle at this time. And like keep it way tamped down so that the comparison between us is extreme that anyone around is observing that I am the one who's right. And so, oh man, if I could go back there for
Such
a
a
day,
piece of shit. I hate you.
all I would do is be end manager.
I just came here to get my Tahoe and it's not here. Sir, are you on any drugs right now? Because you're acting very erratically. And is that a blade you have?
Is it a blade? He's got a knife. He's got a screaming at an airport.
I don't know about
Literally,
it, but I feel like I smell alcohol and pot on him.
I think I smell. Is that plastic explosive? Do you have
Prove I don't
plastic
smell it.
explosives?
Let me tell you why, though, he was freaking out about the Tahoe. Because I told him, you only reserved a class of car. You didn't reserve a Tahoe. We're giving you a Suburban or whatever the equivalent was. And he would not take it. He refused. He thought I was lying about going out there. And so he went and walked the lot, which took him way too long to walk the entire fucking airport lot and then come back and get mad. And so it was definitely his fucking fault. He could have just taken the Suburban and left instead of screaming at me in front of.
You should have leaned in close and whispered that to him.
You could be leaving with a Suburban. So I'm going to humiliate you in front of all of these people.
Yeah, and I still remember the person who came, and what ended up happening in the end, it was all fine. He ended up calming down, and then actual manager, who I said was the branch, the higher manager,
this is Mr. Hertz himself.
And then, hey, suddenly when you tell someone you're not getting a car, suddenly the Suburban seems like a great idea, doesn't it? And he was more than happy to take that Suburban by the time it was done. And literally the next lady in line, or it was maybe a couple after, because there were dozens of people in line as we're having this bout of frustration, were like telling me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're such fucking sheep.
Yeah, don't be sorry. I was actually fucking with him. That went perfectly from my perspective.
Oh, I didn't smell anything. To be honest, I have a Suburban, a Tahoe. I got all kind of shit back there. I just have a little fun.
The secret is I did smell whiskey, but that was me.
Yes. I mean, I'm drunk as shit, and I'm high.
I'm fucking I smelled my own burp, I think.
To be honest, I crashed the Tahoe last night, and that's why it's not available.
I'm going to the funny ones, but for every one of the funny pretend managers, genuinely, there were 20 times that I handled an actual problem way fucking better than my managers, just because I wouldn't get all sheepish or I wouldn't get all like flustered and yell like a couple of them would. So
what's wrong with sheepish though? Like, I know when I had people do customer support at Woodycraft, I had to get people off of that job or even fire a couple because they try to win at customer service. And it's like, no, winning at customer service is when the customer walks away happy. That's how this is done. Yes. You know, if you battle this guy in some sort of argument and you clearly come out on top, great. That doesn't help Woodycraft at all. That sucks.
Yeah. See, the thing was, like, at least in this business, it was like, if you're too sheepish, like some sales or managers people were, like, you would get bullied into renting a car like a Tahoe for $19 a day. And then it's like, we're hemorrhaging money on this. Like, people are getting mad. And so that's like the level of sheepish I'm talking about, is managers letting themselves get absolutely stomped on.
But who cares about the bottom line?
I don't care. I just don't want to get yelled at by the area manager who would come. This fucking weirdo who worked there, the area manager. I remember he was so strict. You had to shave every day. And you
I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember there was one, me and my buddy, we worked at the insurance replacement branch at this point, and it was the redheaded stepchild of the entire area. He never came to our branch because it was a shithole. There weren't enough chairs for all the employees. We had to stand most of the time. We got so bored in the middle of that warehouse.
Chair.
I'm saying we got so bored in the middle of this warehouse, you know, those bays, that I ordered off Amazon a cheap hockey net and some sticks, and we would just play hockey in there sometimes when it was slow. But this guy, me and my buddy Sean, who worked there, both of us were low little underlings, and we had made it 3 weeks without shaving. It was a game for us to like play, you know, chicken and see how long we could go. And so like I'm for weeks now, no fucking tie, sleeves up, beard, don't fucking care. And then there was one time where I wasn't paying attention, and I was just sitting like doing something on the computer, and then the area manager comes in, he goes, "Well, hey, Taylor." And I was like, "Hello." Full beard, sleeves up, shirt's dirty, no tie.
I'm not Taylor. This is a disguise.
What are you doing? And I was like, I was doing callbacks for overdue cars. And he's like, yeah? Are you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, haven't shaved in a while, have you? And this guy was such a passive aggressive fuck. He would never actually call you out. He would just make little Office Space like, right, we're going to need you to shave that by Monday. If you could do that, that'd be great. And so then I figured, this bitch is never going to get onto me for anything. And so I could just do whatever I want as far as not shaving and rolling up my sleeves and not wearing a tie. And so that's what I did. So it all panned out. Other than that, I was a great employee.
That's a long list of that's.
Yeah. You've been going for 35 minutes. This was a deposition.
Pretend manager was a good bit, and I'm never backing down from pretend manager. And it was mostly helpful.
I think helpful for you passing the time, but as far as fuck.
Okay. When you worked your 60-hour plus a week, how many hours did you work?
I never really counted like the driving time as working that much because that was so easy. But other than that, like you're fucking standing, typing tickets and doing back end stuff the entire time you're doing shit. And then like managers pass stuff off. And so they'll be like, hey, we got and then sometimes, it was fun when you got to do this. They'd be like, all right, we got a red minivan. I had to do this a couple times. There was this dirt poor trailer park in rural Idaho. And they were like, all right, well, it's been 4 weeks since we've seen this Chevy. Who wants to go out and take a look? Who wants to go drive the trailer park and ask around, see if they know where it is? And I would always be like, yes, this is so cool. I want to do that. And so I'd drive around in a trailer park. And like, if anyone was standing, I'd be like, hey, have you seen a red, really new looking van recently? And like, it was like sleuthing. I never actually found any, but it was fun.
I didn't expect it to be such hard work. My impression was that planes roll in, you sprint for 15 minutes, and then wait an hour. But I guess not.
It was like they would have you so short staffed to be like, all right, planes coming in. You're going to be busy for 40 minutes writing those. And then as soon as you're done, you bust your ass down to the wash bay and you start washing cars. And so I've washed, even wearing your suit, I washed thousands of cars.
I didn't know the people at the registers wash cars when I wasn't
such
there.
Bullshit.
Yeah, we were forced to wash the cars because the car preps down there don't give a shit. They never see the customer. And so like they'll do a half-ass job and then
they
like
weren't caring like you were.
I didn't want to get yelled at by the customers and stuff. And to be fair, every branch I worked at, their like score of customer satisfaction, the time I joined to the time I ended went up significantly. So I did fucking help and I did work hard at those jobs. I really did because you've been in that situation where you feel like enough people aren't busting their ass that it motivates you to bust ass where it's like, what am I, like one of these people? Like one of these lazy fuckers? No, I'm at work. I'm going to fucking work. And so, but those days would come and go. Some days you get berated by enough people at 11 a.m. You're like, I'm just going to go lose myself at the Mexican bistro upstairs for a while and hope nobody asks for me.
It takes me 35 minutes to poop. Nothing I can do about it. I'll be back.
Oh,
I'm going to go. I'd just go out in the parking lot and fall asleep in a Suburban for an hour or so.
There was a guy that got fired because he did it every day for like a month.
I did it a lot. You know, I had a hard time getting my sleep in at night. We were always partying. We'd be up until 3 a.m. and then have to be at the work at like 9 or I don't know, maybe 8:30. So around 11 a.m., I just go out in the lot and find something comfy to get in and take a little nap.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get away with doing nothing because they would keep like a tally of how many tickets or contracts you'd written that month. But I even convinced my manager at one point. He's like, Taylor, your sales are terrible. Are you even asking to sell insurance anymore? And I told him, this is the one who asked me to do pretend manager all the time. I was like, no, I'm not asking anymore. And he's like, you have to at least ask, man. And I was like, let me put it to you this way. Our customer satisfaction has skyrocketed. Why? Because we're moving so much faster out of here. So you got 4 people working tickets trying to sell, and they're writing 200 to 400 tickets a month. Then you got me banging them the fuck out over here. You got insurance, hell yeah. And I've got the line moving. I'm writing 1,000 a month just tearing through this shit. And so I didn't think he would buy that, but he did. So I didn't have to try selling anymore after that. But I helped with customer satisfaction. So don't work at a rental car place unless you're just out of college or you luck out, because it sucks. It's no fun.
Yeah, you're better off stealing.
Just steal the rental cars.
Just wait for a good loot, right? They seem to happen. Ferguson was what, 2008?
14.
Okay, 2014. Was that it? It wasn't like closer to the election? Maybe I'm crazy. So, every 5-6 years, free shit. You just go get it.
You just get it. So, yeah, I got a lot more stories. That's enough for now.
That's the message of this PKA. Take what you want.
Yeah.
Yes. Take what you want. At least. That's great. So is this trip to the Netherlands for a year? I assume this was planned way before that giant stream and whatnot. Is this have to do with your streaming career, or is it just like an extended vacation and you'll stream during it?
No, for me, it was back in about 2012. I was climbing a mountain with a mate, and I said, hey, I wouldn't mind doing this around the world. And I started looking up people that had climbed the highest peak of every country of the world. And there was a guy that climbed at every highest peak of Europe for each country. He planned to do it in 6 months, and a war broke out in Kosovo. He got held up for 2 years. So the record stands at like 836 days at the moment. I'm like, I'll do it in a year. Sweet. And then when I quit the army, I actually I started streaming as a bit of a hobby to make friends. And then it all blew up. And so like, how do I incorporate streaming whilst traveling around Europe? Now, the mountain size, unfortunately, I'll be lucky to get 20 mountains done whilst I'm in Europe. But I still want to climb some peaks and have some fun while I'm over here. The record's no longer a major thing for me. It's more about just enjoying life, because obviously things change after nearly most of a decade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about that transition from the army to streaming. And I guess in the military there's like an exit interview where the guy's like, all right, so where are you going from here? What are your plans outside the armed forces? And you're like, well, I'm going to stream some video games on my PC. And I'm going to play a lot. I'm going to play a lot of video games. And he's like, I'll see you in a year.
Yeah. So
Nice luck to you. Yeah.
You've spoken about this before. So it was close. So pretty much the way it worked was you do a few exit interviews, and it's their responsibility to make sure you have a plan to get out. And I said that I've been in the army 8 years. I've done a lot of random shit, and I want to just become a human again, because you surround yourself with the same people, same type of people for such a long period of time. Quitting something like that, you're institutionalized. So your thought patterns are always that kind of way. And so for me, it was like, I'm going to get out, I'm going to go fishing and play computer games. And so my wife got a job out in the middle of nowhere in the country, right in this little coastal village, our town. There's about 3,000 people. And we signed up for the local lawn bowls team, which is like kind of like bocce on grass. And that was with like senior citizens. Everyone was retired, and it was just us that like.
So you were just dominating.
No, they're awesome at it. They're absolutely awesome at it. And I went fishing. But the best thing about it is the old fellas, they know all the fishing spots. They know how to catch the fish. So you make friends with them. They tell you how to catch the fish. And when I went fishing, it became a lot easier.
Maybe you did better in the rugby league.
I actually don't follow rugby at all.
No.
I'm from the southern states, so it's AFL here, Australian rules football. But yeah, so when I had the exit strategy with me, and they were like, "What do you mean you're not going to get a job?" And I'm like, "I've got a couple of $1,000 saved. My wife's got a job. I have no plans to go work. I'm just going to enjoy life for a bit because you guys are taking so much from me." And he just looked at me and was like, "We'll be back in 3 months." I'm like, "Bet you I won't be." And so.
But are there parts of the military that you miss though? Like what I always hear is that the camaraderie and sort of the fact that every day is kind of planned out to some degree. It's like, oh, I know what I'm doing at noon. I know what I'm doing
like
when I
prison.
wake up. Like prison. Yeah, it can be very comforting.
Job security is definitely probably the biggest perk that you always miss, because it's freaking hard to get fired from the army unless you get like done for drugs, and even then, like. There's probably ways around it. I know there's some people that got away
no
with
more drugs for you. All right. This is the 8th time.
They got a zero. They do have a zero tolerance for it, but like it's interesting how it works. But honestly, for me, the main thing I miss is pretty much just the mates. But even then, the thing is, in Australia, when you sign up, it's not compulsory to join the military. But when you sign up, you go on a contract. And for me, it was 4 years, and I think it still is for infantry. And what happens around that 4-year mark is most people get out, or they transition into a different position or role, and that. So at the 4-year mark, all your mates kind of just go everywhere. And if you're still in, most of them get out. If you're still in, you kind of lose a lot of your mates. I actually studied Indonesian and lived over in Indonesia for a bit with work. When I came back to Australia, most of my mates were gone. So for me, I was like this older guy, and I signed up full time at 21. So by this stage, I was already like late 20s, like, you know. So most of the guys were all 17 to 21, wanting to get drunk and have as much sex as possible. And there's me,
nice.
like,
Yeah.
you know, senior citizen, like, I'm just going to go to the gym and stay healthy. You know, like,
I'm going to go play bocce with old fucks.
Yeah.
Did you say you were in the infantry, or?
Yeah, I was. So I didn't do any time Middle East. It's the first question that comes up, so it's the easiest way to just say it straight up. But I spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia, probably about 2 years, in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia. Yeah.
Where was the most fun place that you were deployed?
Indonesia was definitely fun. My first trip over there, I've got so many stories. The first trip over there was when I was studying in Melbourne, and we had a task, like a little project. This is with the School of Languages. They sent us over there, and we had to walk up to random people in the street and just like interview them. But we walked up to this military guy and we started talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, come do karaoke tonight. Come do karaoke." And me and my mate, we're like pretty extroverted kind of people with that kind of thing. Like, we don't give a fuck if someone sees us sing. It's like, yeah, sure, we'll go do karaoke. So we asked we did like afternoon like orders or meetings in the afternoon. And we're like, oh, we're going to go do karaoke with these army guys. Anyone interested coming? Everyone's like, nah. And then we got picked up by this guy. He had like police lights on his car. It was like a pimped out, like Humvee looking thing. He takes us to this like exclusive karaoke bar. And it's just like, as soon as like we're walking there, I'm like, oh, fuck. We're in for it now. And it was like alcohol bottles over all the walls. And it was just like, and okay, so 86% of the population of Indonesia are Muslim, and most people don't drink alcohol, and we were in like a party kind of city. And so instantly like alarm bells got off, like, holy shit, we're in an interesting place here. And we walked down this hallway, me and my mate, and this Indonesian guy puts his like arms around us and he's like, tonight's on me. And that's all he said. His English was hopeless, but we spoke a bit of Indonesian. Walk around this corner and there's like 2 massive couches of the most glammed up, beautiful Indonesian girls. And like,
nice.
I was like engaged at the time, like with my current wife. I'm like, oh fuck. And he's like, you got to pick one. You got to pick one. I'm like, oh, I'll pick one later. And yeah, and long story short, the night was pretty fucking crazy, but pretty much I knew what to expect from that point with Indonesia and working with the military over there. Because every time I went over on a translating gig, I can't really get in shit for this anymore now. So pretty much the first thing, because I used to go over there with officers, and then I'd just be the translator. And then the first thing that the military wanted to do was take us to karaoke bars. And the officers were like, yeah, it's cool to do that. And I knew exactly what they were getting themselves into every night. And I just sit back and just enjoy the show.
It sounds like what they were getting into was alcohol and prostitutes.
Yeah.
These are a few of my favorite things.
That's really nice of Indonesian, I guess, officers or whoever the fuck to do that.
They paid for the night too, and it wasn't cheap. I can tell you that, because the future nights I had to pay for with the other guys. So,
did you ever end up picking a gal?
No, not
into
me.
it.
No,
just to have her sit next to you. So
you just go in the room and you're like, all right, we're gonna
even
sit
if
here,
I was
play a bit of backgammon.
I don't know. Everyone's got a taste in women, but I'm not really attracted to Asian women at all. So for me, it was just not
a fan.
Nah.
Hey, to each their own.
So you mentioned that you never did serve in the Middle East. Is that a regret, or is that I'm glad I didn't go over there because I've seen what can happen?
Every single person that works in the infantry and doesn't deploy will pretty much think the exact same as me, as the people I've spoken to. You imagine like training up for this job all the time. Every single day you go to work, you're working on your fitness, you go on exercises to like get your skills up, and you never deploy. It's like getting blue balled so fucking hard. But at the same time, you understand that like you probably could have literally dodged a bullet by doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like you really, really, really want to do it, and it's all about luck. There is no merit-based deployments in infantry. It's hey, we're sending I was in 7 area, they're sending the 7th Battalion, Charlie Company, and if I was in Bravo Company, I missed the trip, and that happened pretty much every time.
Yeah. It's like that question from Kill Bill, like which are you feeling right now? Regret or relief?
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of a mixture, especially you're a family man, it's a lot. It's not just your chips on the table if you go over there, but at the same time, I definitely understand what you're saying. Like, how many years were you in? 8. Yeah. And right in the heart of like throughout the whole, when things in the Middle East were really going.
So
going
yeah,
strong.
the first 3 years, we didn't get a deployment, and like my battalion, and they were like the hectic years, and then everything started come. So the year I got to my battalion, the year, right before I got there was when everyone just came back, and that was like a crazy trip. That people were going to have issues from that trip. Like from what I can.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to do any like joint exercises with other countries' militaries?
Mostly Southeast Asian countries. I did meet a lot of Americans, but never really worked with them on exercise.
I guess what I was going to ask is like, if that were the case, did you ever meet those guys from Mexico? They're the most hardcore guys in the world. Nobody knows it, but those guys train in a completely different way. Is there anything like that where like you met some guys from a foreign country and you're like, what? That's what you do? That's your training?
There's definitely different mentalities of command through different militaries. So the Australian Army is kind of like, we'll leave all the, we'll give out the orders, and then the NCOs, like the non-commissioned officers, will do most of the thinking past there. Whereas a lot of the Southeast Asians have kind of got the mentality of, only the officers can make a decision. So then they'll be like, all right, we're going that way. And the soldiers will just keep going that way until they're told otherwise. So it works well in 2 different ways and bad in others. So it's like, they definitely have direction. They know where they're going, but they're probably going to get slaughtered in the process. And it's very predictable.
We have been swimming for 3 days now.
But the same thing of that, they understand what they need to do. So it works really well for them with that. But it's very easy to counter. So, but every military has its flaws. I'm not here to do military strategy, but
I love American military. Ours is great and not overpriced at all.
I love wargaming, that kind of stuff. I used to be when I was in the army. I used to like sit down with a couple other guys, like, how would I fuck over my own battalion, like stuff like that. Like if I was to fight this, because it's actually a good way of thinking if you ever want to actually become a good soldier. And good at anything in life, really.
Think about how to sabotage from the inside. Yeah. That's how I treat my day to day. How can I sabotage this relationship? How can I sabotage the success of this client? It's just, how can I sabotage myself by eating after midnight? All sorts of things. That's the toughest one to overcome. This is the not eating after 10 p.m.
Everything's so delicious over in Europe. I've had so much fucking bad food.
I would imagine food's really good in Australia too.
You can smoke as much dope as you want here.
Yeah,
you can only carry 5 grams, but you can smoke it and then go back in and get more.
Yeah, 5 grams will get you 2 months here.
Yeah,
hypothetically.
No, literally.